Hello everybody and welcome to round 2 of the 2022 GP4 Formula E Offline Championship. We are here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico for the Mexico City ePrix. I am JW97 and I'm joined today by Robert Ionescu, or Rob in this
Hello.
case.
Yeah, hello. Good to see you, everyone. Let's have an entertaining stream today.
Yes, indeed, as we get underway for the qualifying session here at Mexico City. A 30-minute qualifying session for anybody who is new to this, and we're about to get underway. Of course, last time out at Sao Paulo, it was a very, very entertaining opening race of the season, although you have to catch your minds back 3 weeks ago to that race, because, of course, we didn't have any live streams, of course. Well, apart from DTM, we didn't have any live streams for Yuri's series at all throughout last week, and that was because... Of course, Yuri fell ill, of course, with a fever, which is why everything got pushed back a week. But we are now here for Mexico City. And 3 weeks ago, it was a very, very entertaining race in Sao Paulo, but a race that was dominated by Ross Denholm, who picked up his first ever Formula E victory.
Yeah, he drove very well in that race and got what he deserved with a dominating win.
Indeed so, as it looks like Bella Neuville is going to get out on track first of all, unless she's beaten to the punch by someone else, as the mechanics get set to send her out onto the racetrack here in Mexico City. But, of course, it was a race, whilst it was good for one Nissan, of course showing how much they've improved now that they're a Group 1 team, for the other Nissan it was a different story. Starting on pole position was Dominic Decelli, but in the race he just seemed to not have any pace at all.
Yeah, he dropped off really bad, and all the points he picked up were the points from pole. That was it.
Well, it was pretty much that really for Dominic Decelli, and that's definitely a race that he'll want to forget and move on to this week and hope that he has a better race here in Mexico City, a track which has favoured Robert Ionescu in the past. Obviously, he won here last season, but the last 2 times he visited here, he has taken pole position. Could he be looking at a 3rd consecutive pole today?
I sure would hope so, but yeah, I'm not going to leave my predictions. My predictions are obvious. I'm rooting for myself in this, but let us know your predictions, everyone.
Indeed so, as in fact before Bella Neuville went out on the track, we were running on board with Cesar Cohen Jr. In the Mahindra. It wasn't exactly the best first ever GP4 races for the Dominican Republic driver, but it's safe to say that obviously given the Mahindra you wouldn't have expected too much, so I'm guessing he'll be hoping for a better result here at Mexico City as he's making his way down towards the stadium section now then. This track does have a bit of a
time.
He's taking his time indeed. This track does have a bit of a reputation to have a few bump and run moments as we've seen in previous seasons, but whether that will be the case this season we will have to wait and see, of course. Of course, anybody who is not familiar with Formula E qualifying, we usually have 13 cars going out at the time, and that's just to prevent a little pit lane glitch that we have with these cars. So
Cohen begins his lap.
As Cesar is about to start his lap now then, as he comes down the pit straight to start his lap. Luckily no traffic for him because all 13 cars that are meant to be out on track at this point in time are already out there, so no traffic expected for Cesar Cohen Jr. as he now makes his way down towards turn 1. A very, very long run to that first corner, and usually in the races, Rob, it is a little bit of a scene for start incidents.
Yeah, it can be pretty chaotic. It's not as wide as you think around turn 1, so there can be quite some incidents over the years, not just in here, but in the top class as well.
Indeed, and whether we'll see that again here in Formula E is another question. A 27.502 for Cesar Cohen Jr. in the first sector as he makes his way through the left-right chicane now then before approaching the double right-hander, as now he flicks the car in through the long swooping double right-hander there, although I do think it is classed as one corner from memory, as now making his way down
I think so, the same.
Now they're making their way down towards the S's now then, through the first one, then the second, then the third, and then into a slower part of the S's. Really, you have to get on the brakes and down a gear to get around this part of the course, and then you make your way towards the end of the second sector now then. A 1 minute 3.534 for Cesar Cohen Jr. in the Mahindra, as he now makes his way towards the stadium section as he flicks it in through the right-hander, although he's got a flick of oversteer there going through into that corner there, and it's led to a lock-up going into the hairpin. So this lap already in the bin for Cesar Cohen Jr., and he'll look to try and improve on that a little bit later on in this session. Coming out of the stadium section now then, through Mansell Corner and then into the Pilotala as he gets a little bit more oversteer coming out of Mansell there as he comes down the pit straight. This has been a scruffy lap for Cesar Cohen Jr. as he now crosses the line to do a 1 minute 38.325. Bella Neuville in the Neo now then. She's now going to come across the line and she will go quickest by nearly 0.4 of a second, 3.359 to be exact, as Cass Morgan goes into second place. Marvo Koenig in the Andretti Formula E team now then, as he now makes his way through the final turn. Of course, the only driver to fail to finish last time out in Sao Paulo, so looking to put his name onto the championship standings if he can in this race, as Koenig crosses the line and all the way down in fourth. Not the best first lap for Koenig, as Ticelli goes second, in fact, 200ths off of Neuville, who's in a Group 3 car, as meanwhile Coach Chun Cheong goes to the top of the timing sheets now then. Here comes Robert Ionescu, goes only fourth on that occasion, 7/10 off. Brandon Jackson
is going fastest.
Jackson now then coming down at the pit straight now then. And across the line will go the Audi driver and goes 1 second quicker, 1 minute 36.361. So a lot of not very representative times in the first lap, it's fair to say, given that Jackson's gone a second quicker. As Stepnica goes into second place, 6/10 off. Barches Bracky slots into 10th, 3 seconds off of Brandon Jackson's pace. P4 for Daniel Adventure, who got a podium last time out at Interlagos. Rafael Demel slots into second in the Envision Virgin Racing car. Owen Carpenter now then. Carpenter in the DS Cheetah crosses the line now then, and he goes into 11th, 1.9 seconds off, and they are the first ones done. So a lot of drivers looking a little bit off the pace. I don't know if they had very scruffy first laps there, Rob.
Yeah, it's quite strange. Some of the expected big names struggling a little bit for grip on the opening lap. I'm still not quite sure what happened.
Yeah, indeed, and something to possibly keep an eye on for their second flying laps, of course. Of course, the 9 drivers who haven't done a lap yet, they'll be coming out next time by, but there'll be some who have already done a lap that will go out for a second flying lap, as Cohen now then comes into the pits now then.
I want to forget that first lap in a hurry.
I wonder if Koenig had some issues on his first lap to be 2.4 seconds off. I know he's in a Group 2 car, but still, you wouldn't expect him to be behind a Mahindra, that's for sure. Especially a Mahindra that made a few mistakes on his lap.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Koenig just not feeling balance of the car right now, I think. I think he's going to try to sort that out on the remaining laps.
Yep, as Cohen now then gets wheeled back into the garage. The Neo over there is also going to get wheeled back into the garage. That will be Bella Neuville. So far then, it is Brandon Jackson at the top of the timing screens with a 1 minute 36.361, 5/10 quicker than Rafael Demel as we speak. But we've still got a load of drivers still yet to do a lap as we speak, and maybe some improvements as well, because as mentioned earlier on, it looked like there was a lot of mistakes on that first flying lap, as Bella Neuville currently sick for the moment in the Neo 333 FE team, as Owen Carpenter, who's also behind Cohen, may have made a mistake as well in the Group 2 Cheetah, is now coming back into pit lane now then, and as he will now make his way into the pit lane. Bracky now then back in the pits. Of course, Barches Bracky, it was a good race for him last time out at Sao Paulo. Picked up his in only his first ever race in Formula E. Managed to pick up points in the Venturia. A very good, strong first ever race for Barches Bracky.
Yeah, I'll say he drove quite well in that one and to get himself points, even to finish in front of a Group 1 car of Stepnica. I think it was a very solid result.
Yep, indeed, as Bracky now then will be preparing to go out on track for a second lap, maybe either in a few moments' time or maybe just a little bit later on in the second. Jacob Tobler currently in the garage right now for Neo 333, and as we have just over 22 minutes to go in this session, still plenty of time to do laps, as we've got a car going that being Mohamed Razan in the Mercedes. And Razan last time out in Sao Paulo finished in 8th, a pretty strong outing considering that I don't think the Mercedes qualified particularly well during the qualifying, but in the race they seem to have a much better package, especially for Daniel Adventure to get that podium.
It's sort of similar to what happened in last season's Sao Paulo race, where Mercedes once again struggled in qualifying but did better in the race. I think they'll be looking much more polished here in Mexico than they were last time out 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, indeed, as Razan makes his way through to the chicane, there has been a few more cars that come out since then, but none of them are drivers who have already done laps, as you can see, because they've still got pit indicators next to their names on the timing screen. So the drivers who are currently out on track are drivers who are yet to set their first flying laps. One of them being Kochi Cheong, who's just behind Mohamed Razan there in the Andretti. His teammate Koenig's already done a lap, although we do think he may have made a mistake on that first flying lap. Bella Neuville has gone out on track for a second flying lap in a Neo, so both Neos will be out on track on this occasion, because we did see Jacob Tobler in the garage a little bit earlier on. As Razan now then making his way towards the stadium section now then in the Mercedes, as he'll now make his way towards the hairpin now then in the number 71 Mercedes. And it's only just been brought to my attention that there's still some cars that need to be switched the other way around. I was meant to possibly do that in between the races, but clearly I was too busy to do so, so I'll try and see if I can get them amended before round 3 if I can. But anyway, as Razan now then makes his way onto the straight to start his first flying lap, is he going to get any traffic by the time he gets there? There are still some cars making their way out on track, but I think they're
Doesn't
too far
appear to
ahead.
be the case.
I think, as I was just going to say, that I think the traffic is a little bit too far ahead for Razan to get caught up in, so I think he will be okay. Stepnika has gone out to do a second flying lap, same for Adventure. Obviously, we mentioned Neuville, and also Cesar Cohen Jr. has decided to go out on track for a second flying lap. Razan, what's his first sector look like? 2 tenths down on Jackson in that first sector, 27.236 in the first sector.
Oh, a massive lockup.
That's a massive, massive lock up there for Razan, and that won't do his front tyres any good whatsoever.
No, this lap is definitely going to the bin already.
Yeah, indeed, and you could see how much he was struggling to get the car turned in after that, and it's allowed Kochi Cheong, who's just behind, to close up as well after that lock up. So they now make their way through into the S's now then. Let's see what his second sector looks like and how much time he's lost after that mistake into the first sector there. Let's see. Razan 2 seconds off. That you can just tell how much that lockup impacted him there on that occasion.
Yeah, he seems to have no confidence in the car at all at the time, for the time being. This is really strange.
Yeah, indeed, a lot of mistakes happening during this qualifying session as Razan now then through the left-hander he goes as he flicks it out of the stadium section now then we will go. Flicking it in through Mansell and then through the Pilotala now then we will go. And let's see where Razan goes after that mistake now then. So the Indonesian driver comes down the pit straight and across the line. He will now go. And he goes into 13th position. P3 for Kochi Cheong now then. So a good lap for him. 6 tenths off of Brandon Jackson. Hoang Minh Nguyen now then in the Porsche. The Group 3 Porsche now, I should point out. As Nguyen makes his way onto the pit straight. And across the line will go the Vietnamese driver. And he slots into 14th position. Slots 14th. Behind Marvo Koenig. Sana Choi in the Envision Virgin Racing car comes down the pit straight and across the line. She will now go. Her teammate Demel is currently second. She goes into 8th for the time being. So 2nd and 8th for the 2 Virgin Racing cars. Tobler across the line and he goes into 14th. Nguyen Minh Quan goes into 7th. Jaswant Kumar, who got a podium last time out at Interlagos, he goes quickest by 48 thousandths of a second. A 1 minute 36.313 for Jaswant Kumar there. So could he be looking at his first ever pole position in Formula E? Bella Neuville doesn't improve and Leighton Aviar goes 21st. I wonder if he got held up by Bella Neuville there because he was quite close behind. There's Ross Denholm, the current early championship leader, the Scotsman now then. Across the line, can he go to the top of the timing screens? I don't think he will. And no, only goes P7 with that lap. 1.2 seconds off of Jaswant Kumar. He was up on Kumar in the first sector, but seemed to lose time in the last 2 sectors.
He lost a lot of time in the last sector. I don't know what's happened there.
Cesar Cohen Jr. across the line he will go. He's currently in 15th despite that mistake he made on the first lap, but still doesn't improve and remains 15th. So maybe further mistakes there. Stepnika up on his personal best, but loses time in the last sector and remains in 5th position. As Adventure goes into 6th position, slots in front of Kochun Cheong now. Then he's having a good qualifying session in the Venturi. As I think these laps done with, and they are. But Jaswant Kumar at the top of the timing screens.
I think he'll certainly be liking that.
Indeed, both the Cheong brothers currently in the top 10 as we speak, with Kochi Cheong currently.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Rob. As Kochi Cheon currently in fourth position in the Andretti, his teammate Koenig still not been able to. Well, in fact, he hasn't come out on track since since his first flying lap, which we believe he may have made a mistake on. But yeah, it just seems like so far everybody just struggling to find grip around this circuit at the moment, and we're seeing quite a lot of mistakes during this. During this. What was I going to say? During this session, and maybe that could be a thing where we could even see a mixed-up grid as a result of this, unless the drivers can really get their act together in these remaining, 16 or so minutes at the moment, as we make our way through as we now wait for the next laps to happen. Of course, there's Nguyen Min Kwan now. Then he's just going to be wheeled back into the garage now. Then, as now in pit lane goes one of the that was a Neo. That was of course Bella Neuville. Currently up at 10th at the moment is the Group 3 Neo. So she's doing quite a good job trying to get redemption after what was a tricky DTM season last season. And obviously with a Group 3 team, so not expected to be fighting for points on a regular basis, but obviously looking to try and take advantage when possible to see if there's any points on the table for Neo, of course. So we wait now for the next laps to happen, as we've got Bartosz Bracki coming out on track, currently down in 21st position in the Group 2 Venturi, so not exactly ideal for the man who finished 9th last time out at Interlagos. As I think Rob has just joined us again from.
Yes. Have I missed anything?
No, not really. It was just people coming into the pits. So.
All right.
So anyway, as now Bracki now then just goes out of the first few turns. Also on track now we have Koch Chun Cheong. So both the Venturi drivers are out on track, and Bracki looking to see if he can match his Malaysian teammate if he can. As Cass Morgan has gone back out on track as well. And I was mentioning as well.
Bracki is more than 2 seconds off the pace there.
Yes, indeed. I was just I was mentioning just while you were going to do whatever you was doing, of course, that it just seems like a lot of the drivers making mistakes throughout this qualifying session, and it could potentially lead to a mix-up grid if people don't seem to get their act together.
Well, it is a tricky track to master, to be frank. I have no idea how I've gotten that car stuck on pole twice. It looks easy on paper, but it's anything but.
Yeah, indeed, and of course, as mentioned, there are still numbers that I still need to switch around. I haven't had a chance to do so yet, so once I get a chance, I will obviously get them switched around because Bracki and Koch Chun Cheong have still got the wrong numbers and wrong prefix on their little TCAM at the moment. I think a couple of other teams have got that issue as well. So anyway,
here goes Bracki to begin his lap.
I think I actually wrote them down in here, actually, to remind me of which ones need switching around. So, anyway, as Bracki now then starts his lap, there is a car in front of him, but is it going to be too far away for him to get held up? Let's see. I think it will be, so I think he should be okay as he goes through the first few corners now down the track, through turn 1, then into turn 2, and then around turn 3 we will go, as he will now come up towards the end of the first sector. We saw Mohamed Razan have a huge lockup going up to this corner that Bracki is soon going to be approaching, and he's 43,000 down on his personal best, heading towards the chicane now. Then no such lockups for Bracki, unlike what we saw with Razan a little bit earlier on, as he used a lot of curb on that right hand side there before making his way towards the double right-hander now. Then it's just a short run before you have to slow it down through that double right-hander, and now heading towards the SCT. He's coming up to the back of one of the Porsches, not sure which Porsche it is, so it's either Aviard.
It's not Aviard.
It's okay, so that will be Nguyen then, because Aviard is still in the pits now. Then let's see what his second sector looks like compared to his personal best, and he is up
much better
by 9/10. So that just suggests that he made a mistake on his first flying lap. But let's see how far up the field he can get, providing, of course, he doesn't get caught up to the back of Hoang Min Nguyen in front. As now the Polish driver making his way into the hairpin through the left and then into the right-hander. He will go heading up towards Mansell corner now then. flicking it in for the right-hander, and then into the Pelotala we will go now then, as Bracky across the line. He will soon approach, get some slipstream from the Porsche in front, but Bracky across the line, he will go, and he goes into only 17th on that occasion, so only slotting in between both Carpenter and Tobler on that occasion. Coach Onchilo improves, but remains in 7th position, doesn't improve on position, as his brother is preparing to start a lap. Cass Morgan is not up.
Morgan.
He's not up on his personal best, and he's currently lying in 14th position, 1.8 seconds off of Jaswant Kumar now then, as Morgan comes out of the final turn and onto the pit straight. He will go, and Morgan, the rookie now, then crosses the line, and no improvement, stays in 14th. Robert Ionescu up on his personal best. He's currently down in 13th position. Let's see where Ionescu can go. Can he get anywhere near the top of the timing screens? Robert Ionescu across the line. He will go, and only up to 7th on that occasion. So not able to get
I still
near
think
the front.
he'll be happy with that improvement, but not super a lot.
Charlie goes up to 9th place meanwhile, as Carpenter goes up to 12th, so we're seeing some improvements. Jackson not up on his personal best, not able to find any time on Jaswant Kumar at the moment, currently 48 thousandths behind the Jaguar driver. As Jackson across the line, he will go, and no improvement, stays where he is. Rafael Demel's not up on his personal best either, and he's currently in 3rd place. So far, an impressive outing for the Group 2 Envision Virgin Racing car, as now Demel out of the final turn, and onto the pit straight goes the Brazilian, and across the line, he will now go.
There's where he is.
He's in 3rd. His teammate beats him to 3rd. Trey up into 3rd place. 1 time over Kumar. So 3rd and 4th for the Virgins. Looking at the 2nd row. Razan only 13th on that occasion. Here comes Marvo Koenig. A better lap for him. And he goes only 16th on that occasion. As we look at Hoang Min Nguyen, who I don't know if has been overtaken by Barges Bracky there or been in compromise. I think he has been, because look at the lap time. And as a result, does not improve. He stays down in 21st position. Kochi Chiang also not up on his personal best. Currently up in 5th place at the moment in the Andretti. And Kochi Cheong now then across the line, he will go, and no improvement, stays in P5 for the time being. Anybody else on a lap on this occasion? I don't think there are. Nope. So at the moment, Kumar still at the top of the timing screens as we speak, but the Virgins looking very, very impressive, Rob, currently locking out the 2nd row.
That's a welcome surprise, to be frank. I did not see this coming at all.
Indeed so, and Sana Trey possibly looking at her best ever result in a qualifying session, and definitely in a much more competitive car than what she was in last season, because she was normally fighting towards the back of the field last season in the Neo, but now she's in a Group 2 car. She probably feels this is her best chance to try and make an impression on the Formula E grid, as she wasn't able to demonstrate much of a pace down at the back of the field in the Neo. So anyway, just over 10 minutes to go in this session, and I still feel we could see some more improvements, Rob.
Yeah, it depends, because not everybody is going to go out again. We need to keep that in mind.
Yeah, indeed. And so, as it looks like there are some mechanics moving, and I think that might be for Jacob Tobler. So I expect Tobler to be coming out on track very, very soon, as the Czech driver is going out onto the racetrack, and he'll be the first to go out for these group of cars now then. Tobler currently in 20th place at the moment, and his teammate up in 15th at the moment, Bella Neuville. About just under a second between Tobler and Neuville. Quite a concerning gap, if you ask me, between 2 Neo teammates.
Well, yeah, it's the same case for the Venturis. There's still a big gap out there. Clearly one not getting the grips with the machinery as good as the other driver.
No, definitely not. And Tobler looking to see if he can try and improve on that 20th position and get anywhere near Bella Neuville. Still the only one on track at the moment. There's not much movement going on in pit lane as we speak, until now, in fact, because there is somebody just coming out of pit lane right now.
I wonder who that is.
Tobler comes out of the chicane now then, and it is, in fact, Nguyen Min Kwan that's just made his way out on the racetrack, currently in 12th place, just behind early championship leader Ross Denholm. I expect Denholm to be out on track, because I don't think I saw him on that previous run, so I expect him to go back out and potentially see if he can try and improve on that 11th place and get anywhere near towards where Kumar and Jackson are at the moment. So, yeah, that's pretty much that, really, as Tobler just comes out of the S's now then, as he will now make his way towards the stadium section now then. As you can see, all the fans in that grandstand at the moment, even for Formula E, they are up on their feet, as Kumar has gone back out on track, just in case anybody tries to beat that time He's currently on at the moment a 1:36.313 as Tobler is about to start his next flying lap. Will he get any traffic on this occasion though?
Let's see. It's about to begin, and there doesn't appear to be anyone holding him up, so he's got the track to himself mostly.
Yep, he comes down the straight now then. He's already just started his lap going over the bumps there. There are a few cars in front, but they're too far in front for Tobler to get onto the back of. So I think he should get a clean lap unless he makes a mistake like we've seen a few times from a few drivers during this session. Tobler through into the first few turns. He goes through turn 2, then around into turn 3 he will go. And let's see what his first sector is going to look like now then as he just makes his way towards the end of the first sector, and he's 2 tenths up on his personal best, in fact 23 thousandths of a Jaswant Kumar. But of course the first sector doesn't really tell too much in terms of gaps, of course, because there's only really one three sets of corners to negotiate, and they're all pretty much the same. It's really the rest of the lap where you can either gain or lose time.
Yeah, absolutely, especially in this middle sector with so many low and medium speed corners where the difference is really made.
Yeah, indeed, as he just makes his way through into the S's now then, as he will now come up towards the right and left-hander. Let's see what his middle sector is going to look like. 5 tenths up on his personal best. And looking at it, I don't think he'll beat Newerville, but I think he'll get a little bit closer to his teammate. Although having said that, he's just had a flick of oversteer going through into the right-hander, which has led to a lock-up through into the hairpin. So this lap might have already gone in the bin as a result. Clearly pushing a bit too hard.
He might have thrown it away, and this could be his last shot.
Yeah, he might have thrown this one away after what was looking like an improvement, but we will see anyways. He just makes his way out of the pelotala now, then heading his way onto the pit straight, and Jacob Tobler now then is going to cross the line. Can he still improve regardless though? He does, but only up into 18th. He probably could have been a little bit more closer if it wasn't for that mistake. Kwan, meanwhile, is not up on his personal best, and at the moment he's still in 12th position as we speak, so it looks like the Vietnamese driver is not going to gain any positions on this occasion.
No, definitely not. I don't see a path for him to improve on this lap, to be honest.
As he now makes his way through into the hairpin, through into the right, and then into Mansell, he will now go towards now then the penultimate corner, and then into the Pilotala will go the Vietnamese driver. Through into the final corner, and onto the pit straight then goes Nguyen Minh Quan in the DS Cheetah, and across the line he will now go. And he crosses the line, no improvement, and stays in 12th. Cass Morgan starting lap. Bella Newerville is up on her personal best, so maybe a further improvement for the Belgian driver. Let's see. Through into the final 2 turns she will go. Bella Newerville through the final corner and onto the pit straight will go the Belgian driver. And Bella Newerville, where is she going to place in the Neo? Across the line she will now go, and she goes into 8th. A very good lap there for Bella Newerville, 9 tenths off of Jaswant Kumar. Here comes Leighton Aviard. Both Porsches currently on the back row of the grid at the moment as we speak, but Aviard is up on his personal best. Across the line he will go, and he gets up into 15th.
Massive improvement.
Kumar doesn't improve. He stays on 1:36.313. Denholm's not on an improvement, and he stays in 12th. In fact, no, he found a little bit of time in the last sector, but he remains in 12th position. Not exactly ideal for both Nissans, in fact, who are both locking out row 6 as we speak. DeCelli in front of Denholm at the moment. Ko Chun Cheong across the line, and he loses time in the last sector and doesn't improve. He was up on his personal best, but lost time in the last sector. Stepnika up on his personal best. Can he try and get onto the front row? Across the line, not
only
quite.
4th. He breaks the Virgin Stranglehold of row 2.
He goes up to 15th, pushes Cesar Cohen Jr. onto that back row. I thought for a minute there DeCelli had some understeer going through into that towards Mansell, but clearly not. But he's still up on his personal best. Is the man who took pole position last time out at Interlagos. The Italian now then making his way onto the pit straight. Dominic DeCelli crosses the line. Can he improve? He can, and goes up into 5th. Gets in front of Dumel. Cesar Cohen Jr. is clearly not improving, and he stays where he is. Daniel Adventure not on an improvement either, as the Mercedes driver currently in 8th position is now going to cross the line and doesn't improve. Stays in P8. As we look at Cass Morgan, he's up on his by 3 tenths only though, so I guess looking at it, he'll probably only get up to around about 19th, I would say, but we will see anyway.
Well, he's already in 19th, Morgan, so...
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong person. I was looking at Cohen, they're his teammate. But
right, fair enough.
Maybe around about there where Aviard is then, maybe in 16th if he can keep this up. But Cass Morgan across the line then, he will go in the Mahindra now. Then across the line he goes, and he goes 16th. So he does get in front of Leighton Aviard there. They are these ones done with. Is there anybody else that's going to get out there for a final flying lap? We shall see.
I think it could be a rather close affair, to be honest with you.
Perhaps indeed, as the Neo goes into the box there, as we will wait and see what happens as Bella Neuville in ninth, looking at a very, very good qualifying position at the moment, in front of Robert Ionescu, who has been a bit of a pole master here at Mexico City, but it looks like that's probably not going to happen for today, and it looks like maybe he'll have to maybe make a fight back in the race if he can a little bit later, if he wants to get anywhere near trying to get... He wants to get anywhere near trying to get a back-to-back victory here at Mexico City, as the Neo mechanics have just wheeled Neuville back into the garage now then, as it looks like the DS Cheetah is going out on track, and it is Owen Carpenter who's going to get one more flying lap in before the session comes to a close, and he's down in 18th. Marvo Koenig, meanwhile, might as well point out, and the Andretti, all the way down in 19th. Now, considering his teammates up in 7th, that's not really ideal for the German driver.
No, definitely not, and he's a full second off the pace. Something clearly didn't click, and if he doesn't go out again, that means he'll start in a very bad place.
Yeah, indeed, and he obviously failed to finish last time out at Interlagos, so he's obviously trying to make amends here in Mexico, but it's not going to get off to the best of starts if he's starting all the way down in 19th position as Carpenter is out on track. So is Cass Morgan, but I think he's still yet to come into the pit. So at the moment, Carpenter is the only one we know that's doing another flying lap. But there is some more movement in the pit lane, I think. No, my eyes are deceiving me a bit there. But anyway, as now Owen Carpenter just goes into the S's, now there is some movement now in the pit lane, as we can see. So somebody else about to do a final flying lap as Carpenter just makes his way through the S's, and that would be Marvo Koenig, who we were just talking about. So
he needed that one.
Yep, indeed. So he's giving himself one more chance to try and see if he can get anywhere near Kochi Jiong, who, speaking of which, has also gone out onto the racetrack. The drivers need to get out before the 1 minute 36 threshold, otherwise they will not have another chance to do.
Looks like Ionescu has gone out as well.
He has indeed, so has Jackson. So both Aldis are out on track, and we've passed the 1 minute 36 mark. So some of them will get... Some of them, I think at least 5, will get one more flying lap in. But as for the rest, they won't be able to get another flying lap in. So Cohen and Nguyen will be on the back row of the grid. And Tobler will stay in 20th. As I think, speaking of Nguyen, he just came out on track. I wonder if Carpenter is going to catch up to the back of him going into the first corner.
It doesn't appear like it.
Yeah, it looks like... I don't think he will, judging from the mini-map now that I'm looking at it. So I think Carpenter should be okay, as he's currently down in 18th position and looking to progress up through the field before the session closes. Just under a minute to go now then. Carpenter now then, approaching the end of the first sector.
1,000 up.
Yeah, only 1,000th up though, so not really much in it. So he really needs to continue to gain into these final 2 sectors.
He's got a little bit of understeer into turn 4 there, so that won't be too good.
Yep, so, but we'll wait and see if he can find a little bit more time. He needs to push a little bit more if he wants to progress a little bit higher than 18th on the grid. Currently 1.5 seconds off of Jaswant Kumar, who has opted to stay in the pits on this occasion. So he's probably praying that nobody beats him to his first ever pole position. So Carpenter now then, through into the S as he goes, as he now makes his way towards the middle sector, 25,000 subs. So he is improving, but I don't think he's going to gain much out of this at the moment.
He could climb one position if he's getting us 3 down right, but I don't think he can get any more than that.
Yeah, as he's now coming up to the back of the Porsche now, then might get a bit of slipstream down the pit straight, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Checker flag is out.
The checker flag has now come out. That signifies the end of the session now. Then finish off your flying laps, as now coming out of the Pelotala we go. Carpenter across the line he goes in the DS de Cheetah. Can he improve? No, he doesn't. Lose his time in the last sector and remains down in 18th. Not exactly ideal for him. Marvo Koenig's up on his personal best in the first sector, but he's got the other Porsche in front, so if he doesn't get caught up by that other Porsche, that would be Leighton Aviard, I believe that is, because I think it was Nguyen who was in front of Owen Carpenter. So Marvo Koenig now then through into the S's.
Sector split.
He's 66,000 up, so he's going to need something in that middle sector.
Yeah, but he had a mistake in the last sector, it looks like, because there's no way he should have lost an entire second last sector alone. He must have made a mistake previously, so this time he should be finding some more speed, even if he gets held up.
should get a tow from that Porsche in front, but we will see as they now make their way through into the Mansell corner now, then through into the Pedaltaler. We will go. Koenig now then getting some slipstream off the Porsche. Might even pass him down at turn 1 after the lap comes to an end. But Koenig, across the line he goes. Can he improve? And yes, he can, but only into 19th. So a disappointing qualifying. A disappointing qualifying for Koenig, unlike his teammate, who, despite not improving, he's looking like he's going to start in the top 10. So another good qualifying session for him. Robert Ionescu up on his personal best, but loses time on the last sector and remains in 10th. Brandon Jackson across the line doesn't improve and stays in second. Razin is up on his personal best and goes up into 9th, so pushes Ionescu outside the top 10. But after all of that, Jaswant Kumar takes his first ever pole position in the GP4 OC fraternity. Good going from the Indian driver.
He's done quite well for himself there. I think he'll be delighted with that.
Here is the results then. Jaswant Kumar on pole with Brandon Jackson in second. Sana Choi, a fantastic qualifying in third with Jacob Stepnika in fourth. Then it is Dominic Ticelli in fifth. Rafael Damal sixth. Kochi Cheong starts in seventh with Daniel Adventure in eighth. Mohamed Razan in ninth with Bella Newaville completing the top 10. A good effort for her. Robert Ionescu 11th, and you can do the rest, Rob.
Sure, Kokjun Chung is 12th, followed by Ross Denholm, the championship leader, struggling a little bit. Kwan Min Nguyen is 14th, followed by Bartosz Braki, and then it's Cass Morgan. Leighton Aveyard 17th, on Carpenter 18th, Marva Koenig all the way down in 19th, Jakub Tobel at 20th, Cesar Cohen 21st, and Juan Min Nguyen is in 22nd and last.
So we're just going to take obviously we're just going to take a little bit of a pause, but do stay with us because the race will also be coming up in just a little bit also on this stream, so don't go anywhere. But for the meantime, I'm just going to stay silent and prepare for the tweet, so apologies in the meantime, but I will be back, so stick around because the race will be coming up very, very soon.
So 2 seasons ago I got P1, last season I got P1, this season I got P11 on the grid. Well, that's not pole, but still I can get some good points from this if I can improve. We'll see. No, Michael, that is not how you write Kumar's name. Are we still live or? Alright. Well, what shall we talk about? This massive headache I've got? No, I don't know, man. I think the Audi's numbers are also switched around still, like the Venturi.
I'm back. You mentioned that the Audis might be the wrong way around. Let me just double check that whilst we have a chance.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. So it looks like I need to switch it. I think I said that I put them actually down in this stream as well. Which ones need to be switched around? Although I don't know if I remember or not. It seems like I didn't. Hang on. Oh yes, I did. Audi and Venturi need swapping. So when I get a chance, I'll try and get them switched before the next round, which is obviously at Miami. So,
Oh God, Dodge Island.
yep. So yeah, that was that. So yes. So obviously we're just waiting for the grid to assemble. But yeah, Jaswant Kumar taking his first ever pole position in the GP4 OC Fraternity. Just looking at what that does for the championship, because of course he finished second last time out at Interlagos. He is now 6 points behind.
Gets himself
Ross Denholm.
closer.
He gets himself 6 points behind Ross Denholm as a result. He's now on 21 points as a result of his of pole position here at Mexico City. But yeah, disappointing session for Ross Denholm, and obviously one he'll need to try and bounce back in the race.
Yeah, absolutely right. I think it'll be a little bit difficult if he wants to make it 2 wins in a row here.
Indeed, and looks like he's going to be in for quite a long race. But be interested to see what the Envision Virgin Racing cars can do from third and fifth on the grid.
I think they might come under a little bit of pressure, but we'll see if they can have the pace hold on. I expect them to hold up a lot of people in the race.
Third and sixth, I meant, not third and fifth. So third and sixth, in fact, because DeCelli actually got up into fifth place, slotting in behind Jacob Stepnika. So first and fourth for the two Jaguar cars. So they've both had a very good qualifying session, and looking to see if they can try and convert that result into the what was I going to say, into the race. Really, that was it. That was the word I was looking for. As now wait and see. Now, obviously, just waiting for the race to start. So again, do not leave anywhere, of course. As we wait to see what on earth happens for this race, of course. As mentioned, normally what's usually a thing around here in this circuit is, of course, there can sometimes be start accidents that can happen in this. So whether we will see that today here for Formula E is another question. But of course, only time will tell, of course. And of course, I keep on saying "of course" for some reason, but
of course.
As
hashtag of course in the chat, everyone.
Obviously, it'll be interesting to see what it's like for strategy, because of course last season, of course, you may remember how Robert got the victory last season. Obviously, it was from basically kind of a similar sort of thing that we saw in Interlagos, really, leaving your strategy late and then getting on the fresher tyres. But whether that's going to be the case here at Mexico City this time around is going to be another question.
Yeah, indeed, it's a fundamentally different track. There's much less tire wear here, so we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yep, and of course, obviously, we have to wait and see. Of course, there is a very long straight, of course, that can help with overtaking, but at times we have seen that you do need good traction coming out of the Mansell corner and then around the Pilotala to get a good run into the first corner, because sometimes if you're too far back, chances are you're not going to get an overtake into that first corner.
Yeah, indeed. You sure need to place your car right when you get the chance, because if you can't pass into there, you're going to lose a lot of time.
Indeed, and obviously need to wait and see how many overtakes we get today at this track, because that's obviously something to bear in mind. And just trying to remember how many laps it was last season, to be honest. But I guess we'll find out when we get onto the grid, of course.
Yeah, no pressure.
Indeed, and so obviously it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, Marvo Koenig all the way down the field on the grid. It'll be interesting to see if he can make his way back through the field. Of course, as mentioned during the qualifying session, he's the only driver to finish a race this season. He was the only retirement last time out at the Sao Paulo ePrix, and he'll be looking to try and get to the end of the race if he can and get his name onto the championship board if he can, preferably in the points, because of course, as we know, Andretti is now a Group 2 car. But anyway, we're now onto the grid, and it is 43 laps of action we are looking at here at the Mexico City ePrix. So for anybody who missed the qualifying session, this is how the grid looks like. 4x4 for me and Rob, as per usual. So on pole position for the first ever time in his career, it is Jaswant Kumar in the Jaguar, with Brandon Jackson in second. Shana Choi, a fantastic qualifying session for her. She starts in third, with Jacob Stepnika, the rookie, in fourth.
Dominic DeChelli is in P5. He'll be hoping for a better race this time around than his son. Rafael Dumoulin, the second Virgin, is in P6. Very impressive. Kokje Chung is in P7 in the Andretti. And behind him in 8th is Daniel Adventure in the Mercedes.
Second Mercedes and Mohamed Razan will start in 9th, with Bella Neuville, a fantastic qualifying session in the Neo, to start in 10th. Robert Ionescu with a lot of work to do down in 11th, with Coach Chung Cheong in 12th.
Yes, Ross Denholm is in 13th, the championship leader, struggling a little bit, unlucky there in qualifying. Kwan Min Nguyen is in 14th, Bartosz Braki 15th, and Cass Morgan 16th.
It is Leighton Aviard in 17th, with Owen Carpenter all the way down in 18th. Marvo Kona with a lot of work to do down in 19th, with Jacob Tobler off the pace of his teammate in 20th. And on the back row of the grid, Rob?
It's Cesar Cohen Jr. and Juan Min Nguyen.
And the weather, it is bright and sunny, no rain expected. So let's get on with the 43-lap race. And it's going to be a very, very long run into that first corner, Rob.
Anything can happen.
Yes, indeed. Of course, ignore the grid graphics, of course, because they're still the wrong way around. So just ignore them for the time being.
Hey, some people like them.
Yeah, it seems like it's a bit of a joke, really, when we get onto the grid, really. But yeah, not at the same time, not really ideal that the graphics are a little bit the wrong way around. But anyway, we're now onto the grid then for the start of the Mexico City ePrix at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez then. So on the left-hand side of your screen, we have Jaswant Kumar, the pole sitter. On the right-hand side, we have Brandon Jackson in the Audi as the 5 red lights are about to come off to signify the start of the race. 5 lights are now on.
And here we go. It's a good launch for Jackson.
The lights out and away we go here at Mexico City. And who's going to get the lead into the first corner? Looks like Jackson's got a good start with Sana Trey, trying to get some slipstream, trying to make it freeway, cutting across. I think that was Jacob Stepnika. She dropped across there.
Looks like the split is split in half meanwhile.
And towards the first corner we go. Is Jackson going to grab the lead over Jaswant Kumar into the first corner? Late on the brakes. No, Kumar's going to hold on for the time being. So Kumar hold on to the lead as the top 3 remain the same going through to the first corner. Now can everybody get through the first corner safely? Or are we going to have an accident? I think there may have been some damage towards the back. I think I might have seen something flying about unless my eyes were zooming. No, I was not wrong. Bartosz Braki's got damage into the first corner. Has anyone else? Yeah, we've got more damage as well. It looks like one of the DSG's... The Gurman Quad's got damage, and I think there was a third car that got damaged. I think it was one of the Neos that got damaged, so it's either Tobler, I think it might have been Tobler that's got some damage as well.
Yeah, look, there was some contact further up front.
There's contact there, that's how Quan got his damage, but I think there's a third car that's got damage, and
Braki.
It's not Braki.
No, Braki has damage.
I know, but there's a third car that's got damage as well, and we haven't seen who that is. I'm pretty sure there was a third car. It's Nguyen. It's Hoimin Nguyen that's the one that's got damage. So both the Nguyen's have got damage as they make their way towards the chicane. Is there going to be any further contact? As meanwhile, Stepnika is all over the back of Sana Choi going through into that corner. It looks like everybody's keeping it clean into that chicane, so no such problems there. But it looks like Kumar is already getting away.
Yeah, he's had a great start defending there on the outside of turn 1. Brilliant.
Indeed so, as it looks like Sana Choi is coming under threat from Jacob Stepnika, who's trying to get some very good points for Jaguar, given Kumar is currently up in the lead. A brilliant start from Robert Ionescu, meanwhile, from 11th on the grid. He's already up into 8th position, gaining 3 places from the start. Not a good start for well, it's also been a good start for Coach Chunchino. He's gained a place. Meanwhile, Jacob Stepnika all over the back of Sana Choi, but it's also dragged along Dominic DeChelli, who's also in this fight now for 3rd position. The man who fell backwards at the Sao Paulo ePrix, trying to get revenge here at the Mexico City ePrix. But let's see if Jacob Stepnika can get the move done on Sana Choi, going down into the first corner now. They're coming out of the Pelotala now that we get heading down the pit straight. Has he got enough momentum to get hold of 3rd place going into the first corner? He's in the slipstream of Sana Choi, right in the slipstream of the Envision Virgin Racing car. He's going to go to the inside. Can the Czech driver get the move done and get onto the podium places? Looks like he's already got the overlap. Looks like he's already got the overlap going through into the first corner, and he didn't even need to wait for the corner. Stepnika up into 3rd place.
Good move. He made it look easy.
Indeed so, as meanwhile, it's only 0.9 seconds between Kumar and And I'm trying to think there. In fact,
Jackson?
it looks like, Jackson, in fact, says Aviard's also coming to the pits as well. So it looks like the Porsches are going to be double stacking. So it looks like Aviard has also picked up some damage on the first lap as well. So it's in fact 4 cars that have picked up damage on the first lap. Aviard has also got some damage from the first lap as well. So the Porsches are going to have to queue behind each other, Rob.
Well, a bad day in the office for them, it looks like.
Yep, indeed, and it looks like Nguyen's going to be the one that's going to have to wait, so he might end up being a lap down as a result, but we'll have to wait and see. But meanwhile, Dominic Ticelli is now all over the back of Sana Trey. Looks like the pace of the Group 2 car is already coming into effect here.
Yeah, she's dropping back as expected, though. Nobody really thought she was going to stay up on the podium the entire race, but let's see how long she can hold on.
Ticelli tried to go for a move before the stadium section there, but backed out of it last minute, so maybe waiting for the straight, as it looks like Choi has missed the apex completely, going through into the hairpin there, so Ticelli might get a run on Choi going into the first corner. Meanwhile, Jackson...
also have a chance from Jackson to take the lead, but I think he's a little too far back.
Ticelli's not, meanwhile, and he's also dragging Mohamed Razan into this, so Ticelli may be dropping backwards here, but Ticelli's got a good run on Sana Choi heading down towards the first corner. Stepnika with the fastest lap of the race, so he's currently holding on to the 2 bonus points for the fastest lap of the race until Ionescu just pinched it off him there. But down the inside goes Ticelli on Sana Choi. Is he going to need to wait for the corner? I don't think he will. So
Nope.
up into 4th place he goes, but can Choi get him back into the first corner? I don't think she will, so Ticelli is up into 4th place.
Yeah, he's made that look easy once again, and Ionescu gets the overtake down on the Mel, gets himself up into 7th. We just caught it with the cameras there.
Ionescu on a charge, and he's up into 7th place. Can he catch up now to both Razan and Choi? Meanwhile, there's a battle for 10th going on. Looks like Kochi Cheong's trying to hold on to 2 other cars. One of them being Ross Denholm, who's trying to make his way back through the field after a tricky qualifying, but he's under pressure from the Neo here. One of the Neo cars trying to attack him there, but the camera rudely cuts away from that one. As
that was not very nice.
Indeed, as Jackson's still keeping Kumar on his. Meanwhile, Razan is now all over the back of Sana Choi in the fight for 5th position, and if they're not careful, Ionescu could close up onto the back of them.
Her pace doesn't appear to be that bad, it's just that the other cars are so much faster than her.
Indeed, as meanwhile, Bella Neuville, who's not had the best of starts after starting from 10th, is holding off from... Meanwhile, Yuri's just informed us that between qualifying and the race, he has edited the physics for these cars to make it work well around this racetrack. So I think they're in full effect right now. As you may also notice as well that the lap times are a little bit quicker as well for these cars, so that's obviously a good sign. But again, Jackson not close enough to get Kumar on this occasion, but I think Razan's going to get a run on Trey. But look, Ionescu's also there as well, as I think Choi's teammate, Rafael Demel. So looks like those two in a virgin sandwich, but it looks like Razan is going to get a run on Choi into the first corner. Down the inside goes the Mercedes driver heading into the first corner. Ionescu looking on. Looks like he's got the move done, and he didn't need to wait for the corner. Choi trying to fight back, but Razan up into 5th place, and now she's going to be under attack from Robert Ionescu.
Yeah, but she's going to get the slipstream from Razan, so she can use that to hold on. I think Ionescu might have to wait. Is he going to wait, though? I'm not sure. I think he's going to go for it, you know.
Know that Ionescu is a racer, and now he's going to try and go for the outside line, but has to back out of it because Trey was about to shut the door there, but luckily Demel did not take full advantage because he was too far back. Meanwhile, the Cheon brothers are fighting for 10th place. Coach John Cheon trying to take the final points place off of his own brother here, but not able to get the move done, and Kochi just holds on to 10th place for the time being as Denholm just watches on, possibly with a box of popcorn in his hand.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he wants to get by both these guys, and he doesn't like to see them wasting time like this.
Yeah, indeed, and you could see that Coach on already going defensive, feeling the pressure a bit from Ross Denholm behind, as meanwhile Jackson, he's keeping the gap honest, but he's not been able to do much with it, and currently finds himself in a Jaguar sandwich, because Stepnika is not too far behind him either.
I think he's closing in on him.
Meanwhile, you could see that Choi is just struggling at the moment. It looks like she had some poor traction going into the stadium section, and Ionescu tried to capitalise, but it didn't work out. But it looks like that Ionescu has got better pace in this race, and he's going to get a run on Choi as a result. Could he also drag Demel along as well? Let's see. Is Ionescu right in the 60 as Razan sets the fastest lap of the race? Ionescu on the inside now, then of Sana Choi going into the first corner. Is Ionescu going to grab P6 from the Envision Virgin Racing car? As they
should
now
be able to easily. There we go. He's got it.
Got the overlap into the first corner, although Trey is still sticking with him there, but not going to be enough. Ionescu up to 7th. Oh no! Rule 1 in racing, never hit your teammate, and Demel has completely misjudged that one, and Adventure has clipped the back of him as well. He's also got damage. What on earth was that about?
Looks like we finally got a big collision there between the two teammates, but what exactly was Mel thinking with that lunge?
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if that ends...
Alright, you heard the man.
Well, they didn't, but we did. 10-second time penalty for Rafael Demel for causing that crash with Sana Chue, and also for causing this with Daniel Adventure as well. So both Demel and Adventure are going to have to pit for a new front wing, as luckily the yellow flags are not out, as Coach Cheon was trying to attempt to move there on Coach Cheon as they go around
Now
the
they're
David.
out.
But luckily, they didn't get any damage, but now the yellows are out. So, yeah, that's that, really. But they're out the yellow flag zone, and it looks like Kochi is holding up not just his brother, but also Denholm, and also his teammate as well. Marvo Koenig has made an incredible comeback from 19th on the grid. He's on a charge as well.
Well, when you give that, like, 6 cars in front of him crashed, he's doing quite well progressing up the field, but that doesn't take it away from him. He's been doing quite well today.
They're all trying to get around Adventure, who's got damage. But look at all this. It's basically like motorway traffic here. Everybody trying to go
look
around
at that.
each other.
Owen, brilliant move.
Oh no, it's contact there, and there's a bit of damage that's come off him there. It did work off for the moment, but he's made contact with Bella Neuville there. And what on earth happened there?
Looks like he had 2 seconds in the spotlight, I'm afraid. Not going to get any more than that.
Let's have a look and see what was going on there. And I think that was just more Cohen turning into Neuville there.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, to be honest. Yeah, she didn't have much space. I think Owen should have been more mindful.
Yeah, I think Owen should have used his mirrors more. He knew that Neuville was still alongside and clearly did not give the space. So yeah, that's, I think, just a little bit ambitious there for Cesar Cohen Jr., it's fair to say. And now all these drivers are now having to get around him at the moment.
Yeah, he's going to have to pit, and Denholm has lost a lot of time during this entire squabble. He's down to 13th.
Yep, and around the outside goes Tobler as well on Cesar Cohen Jr. What a shame for him, because he could have been fighting for points, but clearly too over-ambitious there to get the move done quickly. Sana Chue's car, I think it's going to take a while, and oh, is that a yellow flag overtake for Jacob Stepnica? He's passed Brandon Jackson there, or did he got it done before the yellow flag zone? So Stepnica, very, very lucky there, and it is now a Jaguar 1-2, Rob.
Wait, he got him before the yellows?
He got him before the yellow flag zone. He's very, very lucky indeed. And is the same going to apply for Coach Cheong? I think it is. Yes, he is. So Coach Cheong, this move will be legal. He's got it done before the yellow flag zone. It's the same going to apply for these lot behind as well, as Carpenter gets a move done. But I think he's not going to have enough momentum. I think the Mahindra is going to stay in front. So no overtake attempt there for Owen Carpenter. And he has to tuck back as a result. But both Stepnica and also Coach Cheong very, very lucky there to get their moves done before the yellow flag zone.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was really touch and go, as Quan is now trying to make a move. Can he get it done before the yellows on Aveyard?
No, he's
now in the yellow flag zone.
And I think this is a 5-second penalty for Quan, I'm afraid. And I think that...
Unless he gives that position back, no, he's not going to give it back. 5-second penalty for sure.
I think Yuri will confirm that very, very quickly. I think it was... Okay, well, I think... 5-second time penalty for Nguyen Min Kwan as a result there, so that's that really.
He could have just waited because the yellow flags have been lifted now.
Oh, ironic. But anyway, Jackson's now got his mirrors full with who is this we're riding on board with? This is Chile, isn't it?
Oh, the Chile, sorry.
It's Ticelli. He's now trying to attack Jackson for third position as he now makes his way down towards the first corner. Ionescu with another fastest lap of the race. Ionescu flying a 1:33.945. He's just broke into the 1:33s as a result. But Ticelli on the inside of Ionescu's teammate Brandon Jackson into the first corner, and that's P3 for the Italian.
I don't think Jackson even fought him there. I think he's aware he's got worse pace than him at the moment.
Indeed so, as we now look at what's going on down the field at the moment. There is Kwan, who of course has got that 5-second time penalty for overtaking under waved yellow flags. And as now we look at Kumar now, then he's just making his way through the double right-hander. Currently up in his personal best, as you can see on the death panel, but it is now a Jaguar 1-2, and he's got a 3.7-second cushion to Jacob Stepnico. Oh, that was close there.
So close.
Between that was very, very close there between Carpenter and Morgan there, and well, my voice decided to break there. Just I was saying Jacob Stepnika's name as
Because
that
Quan
here.
this time is getting it done legally.
He's got the move done on Daniel Adventure, who of course had to pit for damage, and he's up into 17th place. But meanwhile, Jackson's not giving up on Ticelli. He's still sticking with him at the moment, as we now look at Carpenter trying to have a go. Well, we did briefly look at Carpenter there. But anyways, Coach Chun Cheong currently in 7th place at the moment, running pretty well at this stage. But look at the train of cars that are forming in this fight for 3rd place. As now Razin is crawling all over to the back of Jackson, meanwhile, who is still trying to stick with Ticelli at the moment. But I think he's going to keep an eye on Razin more here.
Yeah, he's under attack from the Mercedes. He needs to keep that in mind and try to defend it. But I'm not sure he's trying to defend it so hard. Look, he's already gone past.
And Razin down the inside of the Audi driver, and that should be the move done. It is, although Jackson's going to try and come back at him into the first corner, but Razin says no to that, and up into 4th place goes the Indonesian. Now, will there be any team orders here between the two Audi drivers? Let's see.
Well, let's see if it goes for the inside or the outside. Ionescu here as he's going to try to pass. Which way is he going to go, right or left? He's going to the left, looks like. He's going to dive it past his own teammate, but he thinks better of it.
I don't think he wants a mouthful from the team boss, that's for sure. I think otherwise there would be some serious problems down at Audi if that were to happen. But meanwhile, Jacob Tobler now then on the inside of Owen Carpenter going into the first corner. Can the Czech driver get it done? Oh, nearly close to
very
contact
close.
there. Carpenter just holds on for the time being and holds on. But meanwhile, the two Audis still scrapping it out for 5th position, as I think, yes, I am not mistaken, I think Razan is all over the back of Dominic Ticelli, so we've got a fight for 3rd position going on as well. So Razin currently flying at this stage.
He's going to try to go for the outside here, surely not.
Not going to work. Same goes for Ionescu on Jackson. Same rules. Does not work out for the pair of them, but they'll both get a run on their opponent going down the pit straight. That is for sure. We're seeing quite a lot of overtakes today, which is very good to see. As
yeah, the new physics are working well.
Indeed so, as now coming around the final turn now then we will go, as now Razin is all over the back of, this is Dominic Ticelli, of course. Can he get that final podium place off of the Nissan drivers? They go side by side down towards that first corner. Has he got the move done as they go down towards the first corner now then? As they got the overlap. Is it the same for Ionescu just behind as well? Down the inside goes Razin on Ticelli, and he's up into the podium places. Ionescu on the inside of Jackson, and that's P5 for the Romanian. So he's not too far away from those podium places now.
He's up in the top 5. Let's see if he can keep pushing.
Marva Koenig is now on the inside of Bella Neuville now, then heading down towards the first corner. Can the German driver get it done? He has already, didn't even need to wait for the corner, and he's up into 9th place. The difference between a Group 2 car and a Group 3 car right there for you, and Koenig up into 9th. Next target for him, I think, is his teammate Kochi Cheong, as meanwhile Carpenter under pressure again from Jacob Tobler. This time Carpenter does not go defensive, and the Czech driver going down the inside into the first corner. Should be the move done for him as the camera rudely cuts away, but he has got it done judging from the gathering. And yep, Tobler up into 13th position there as it is his teammate Koenig for the next target for P number 8 as we should expect pit stops to happen around about the lap 30 mark, so just before, just after, we should see some pit stops happening in this race. So for anybody who is curious about that one, but meanwhile,
looks like someone is fueled a little bit lighter.
15 laps for Ionescu, so he's got quite a light electric load, we'll call it there. I mean, well, given that Formula E in real life is going to have charging mounts at some point during the season, I guess it's not unrealistic anymore. So anyway, as Ionescu now,
okay, fair enough.
Ionescu now then is going down the pit straight. He's now on the inside of Dominic Ticelli. This is going to be P4 for the remaining driver. Hasn't quite got the overlap just yet on the Nissan as they go side by side, but he's getting there. He is getting there. He might have the overlap now on the Italian going down into the first corner. Down towards turn 1 we go. Has he got him though? Because Ticelli's trying to hang around the outside, but no, he can't hold on. And Ionescu is up into 4th place, and Ticelli now finds himself in an Audi sandwich with Brandon Jackson now breathing down his neck.
I think that was intelligent from Ionescu the way he overtook him. He made sure to cost him some time to help his teammate out.
Well, it looks like a switch between the two Andrettis here as Koenig on the inside of Kochi Cheong, and that's P8 for the German. As they've also got Bella Neuville breathing down, and Bella Neuville breathing down their neck as she looks to try and get some more points in the Group 3 Neo. She's having a fantastic race here in Mexico at the moment, and now trying to get the move done on Kochi Cheong if she can now. Then
from a long way back, I don't think so.
Not going to happen. Meanwhile, as you can see on the graphic, Bracky has passed Carpenter, so he's up into 14th place. As Bracky, of course, had to come into the pits for damage, so he's already making his way back up through the field. As we look now at one of the Virgin cars, I think this is Demel, of course, who's got that 10-second time penalty. Let's not forget for causing that crash with his teammate Simon Trey. I don't think Trey is going to be particularly happy with Demel about that one, clearly misjudging his braking, going through into the first corner there. Demel tried to have a go there at Carpenter into the chicane, but it didn't work out there.
They're still outside the top 10. This is not a good race for him at the moment.
So, problems for Cesar Cohen Jr. He's got a mechanical failure, but he's got the pit indicator. It's an electrical problem. It is electrical, but can he get it back to the pits? Because he has got the pit indicator on his death panel. But more problems for Cesar Cohen Jr.
It shouldn't be terminal, but I think he's not going to be happy about this.
Depends if he can get it back to the pits, though. That's the question. He's still got a long way to go to get the car back into the pit lane to get that one repaired. Neuville didn't get the best traction there on Kochi Cheong, so it looks like she's not going to be close enough to get
Koenig is the fastest lap. Amazing.
Only just able to take it off of Robert Ionescu there, so now Koenig holds on to those 2 bonus points for the fastest lap of the race, as now they make their way towards the first corner now. Then as just looking at the gap between the two Jaguars, it's 2.9 seconds, so Stepnica keeping the gap honest between himself and teammate Kumar. Meanwhile, Demel, who's got that 10-second time penalty, let's not forget, is now on the inside of Owen Carpenter now, then heading into the first corner. It's obviously on fresher tyres, so could give him a bit of an advantage, of course, being on those fresher tyres, but I think eventually when the mandatory pit stops come about, they are going to suffer a bit, or the people that had to pit early. Demel tried to have a go there, but it looks like Carpenter is going to hold on. In fact, locks up going into turn 2 there, but it's enough to keep him in front, and Cesar Cohen Jr. does make it back to the pits, but yeah.
There goes Adventure with a much better run. He's going to get past him easily.
Looks like he will indeed, and that's, well, brilliant, what's the word I'm looking for? Very sneaky driving there from Daniel Adventure, taking full advantage of that.
Very tactical.
Indeed, as Cohen, I think he's going to be a lap down, I think, thanks to this mechanical failure, because of course he got damaged earlier on from a collision with Bella Neuville at the S's, and now it looks like he's going to be a lap down as Ionescu takes the fast lap back from Marvo Koenig there.
He wasn't having it when he heard on the radio that someone else took the fastest lap. He decided to get it back.
Indeed so, but Ionescu definitely flying out there at the moment, it's fair to say. As meanwhile, we look now at Kochi Cheong. He's getting away from Neuville, who might actually come under pressure, but I think that's Ross Denholm behind. So it looks like Denholm is trying to get some points in this race, the current championship leader as we speak. But at the moment, if it were to stay like this man will take the lead in the Drivers' Championship, that being Jaswant Kumar. So, now coming around the double right-hander will go the Indian driver, as in fact Stepnica has actually cut the gap down between himself and his teammate.
Look at this, here goes 10 more, there's contact.
Luckily it didn't end in disaster there. I thought for a minute we were looking at another... I thought for a minute there, Rob, we were looking at another Demel and Troy situation here, but luckily...
Thankfully not.
Yeah, indeed, but both Neuville and Denholm still lucky to still be in this race.
Absolutely right, Joe. I'm surprised they both got away without any damage, and now Denholm is going to try again. Let's see if we can get it done. He's going to go to the right. That's not good.
Yeah, because I think Neuville's just going to cut him off there, and she does, so she's going to hold on to that points-paying position for the time being. But, yeah, maybe a bit of impatience going on there. With
definitely.
There's all a lock up there for Adventure, as looked like Demel was trying to get...
tried to have a look, but Adventure being wiser about it.
Indeed so, as for some reason one of my dogs has decided to scratch the door there. So, but anyway, look at this. That's a good move there from the Guan Min Kwan, and he gets up into 17th.
Yeah, that was good. He's got past Dumel. He was going to be ahead of him either way because Dumel has that penalty, but he'll be happy to get it done on track.
Yeah, indeed, Demel still stuck behind Bella Neuville as we speak right now, as they make their way towards the hairpin now, then through into the left and then into the right. We will go as we look now at Jacob Stepnica. 2.3 seconds now, the gap between the two Jaguars.
Ionescu looks like to be up into third place. He's got past Razin by the cameras.
Ionescu's into the podium places. Ionescu up into third place. He's got the move done on Razin. He's actually got it done just now, in fact, but Razin's trying to get him back into the chicane, but it looks like Ionescu's got the inside covered, and Ionescu is onto the podium place unless Razin can try and dive it down the inside, but he doesn't. So Ionescu now up into third.
Yeah, but he's got that move done. I'm still not sure how exactly, but it doesn't really matter either way. What matters is that he's got it.
Denholm finally up into 10th place. He's finally got the move done on Bellanueville, so now Denholm is into the points-paying position. So he's now up into 10th place. As now Stepnica, the gap 2.4, so Kumar responding a little bit there. But I wonder what Ionescu's pace is like compared to the two Jaguars.
I think his pace is very strong. I was keeping an eye on the gaps. It's definitely gone down, but I don't think he can catch these guys. But I think he'll be pushing as hard as he can.
Mal struggling to get by on the Nguyen Minh Quan there, and well, he's definitely a race to forget really for the Brazilian. As meanwhile, you can see that Razan starting to drop off now from Ionescu's pace, and Razan could come under pressure from Ticelli again, because Ticelli is not too far behind him at the moment. As Demel again,
that's what I was thinking.
As Demel again struggling to get by on the Nguyen Minh Quan as we speak. As just looking around, looks like Neuville is still sticking with Denholm at the moment, but not able to get the place back off the Scotsman at the moment. As we now look at Ionescu, 6.5 seconds the gap between himself and Jacob Stepnica, so that's one to definitely keep an eye on.
Absolutely right, Joe, and I think this could also be interesting with the strategy because Ionescu is fueled lighter. Will that disadvantage him in the second stint, or does he have the pace to cover that off as well?
Who knows, really, as Jacob Stepnica now, then the gap's still around 2.4 seconds between the two Jaguars, as Quan again defending from Demel at the moment, although let's not forget both of these guys actually have a penalty, as Bracky's got a problem, and he's just passed the pit straight as well.
I think this is terminal.
It wouldn't have been if he made it to the pit, but unfortunately it's happened as well. He's crashed as a result. It's a puncture. Oh, that was close there with Carpenter. There's a wheel there, but it looks like there's just enough space for the cars to just slot themselves through. Don't go side by side.
Not when they're running too wide. Quan is out.
Quan has crashed because he was defending from Demel. Aveyard's out. We're going to have chaos on the pit straight there. And, well, Bracky's puncher has caused a lot of chaos down the pit straight.
Yeah, I'll say, my goodness me. How many cars is that out? 3?
I think that's 3 cars, including Bracky, another one there being the Nguyen Minh Quan, and the other one being Leighton Aveyard. So we've got 3 cars out of the race as a direct result.
Stepnitska's gained onto his teammate, meanwhile. The gap is under 2 seconds, but we have to take another look at this. Let's see from Aveyard's POV. Could he have avoided this? Doubtful.
I don't know, because debris was starting to scatter when Quan hit it. As you can see, debris was scattered all over the place. And I think it's going to be one of these. It's in fact that it's just a bit unsighted there for Leighton Aveyard, as you can see from the onboard. And yeah, just debris scattered all over the place.
Yeah, unlucky. There was nothing he could do to avoid it, I'm afraid.
Indeed so. And there's Kumar, in fact, coming up to this lot. Same with Jacob Stepnica, as they're all slowing down to avoid any debris at all during this. But luckily, they haven't been caught up. As Nguyen has been caught up by some debris, and luckily Stepnica.
What about the leaders?
It looks like they've avoided it, but there is a wheel still bouncing around. Ionescu's got through that pretty safely. Same for Razan, same for Ticelli, but the wheel's coming back towards the racing line. Jackson's clipped the wheel, and he's lost a bit of. Has he got damage? He has.
Yes.
Got damage, so more chaos down the straight as the Nguyen Minh is now out of the race, and well, it looks like he's clipped some debris a little bit further down. There it goes. He lost his front wing and then clipped his own debris.
My gosh, this is not something I've seen in a long time.
Indeed, and we're down to 17. I think we're down to, if I'm trying to think now, we're down to 17 runners as a result of this chaos that's happened down the pit straight.
Aren't we down to 16? No, 7, because Cohen is still in the race, 17.
Indeed, and luckily the leaders were able to get through that, apart from Brandon Jackson, so he's going to have to make a pit stop for a new front wing as a result.
Yeah, unlucky for the man who started second in this race.
Indeed, and that was that really, as everybody made it through, apart from Brandon Jackson, who's been caught in that. You can see the wheel was bouncing there. He's lost his front wing, and as a result, he's going to have to pit for a new one. So disaster, really, for the man who started on the front row of the grid. Is anybody else going to get any debris? I don't think there is. The yellows have now gone, so it looks like Jackson is the only one to have to come into the pits to repair some damage. Meanwhile, look at this. The two Jaguars are now close together with each other, as you can see. Stepnica is now all over the back of Jaswant Kumar. Clearly no team orders at Jaguar.
No, definitely not. I think this fight is on.
Indeed so. 5 tenths is the gap between the two Jaguar drivers. Just looking at the gap with Ionescu on the top, 6.2 seconds. So Ionescu has gained a little bit from the last time we checked, but not too much. Maybe because of the slipstream that the Jacob Stepnica has got now. Then Demali's into the pits because he also did he
Had
get
damage.
He also had damage as well, along with Jackson. So it's in fact 2 drivers that have got damage from that. So anyway, but Stepnica now has got to run on his teammate down towards the first corner. Can he take the lead from Jaswant Kumar? Both of them trying to fight for their first ever victory in the GP4 OC fraternity. Stepnica in only his secondary race, trying to get his first win as well, as now he's in the slipstream. But is he close enough to get Kumar into the first corner? He's in the slipstream of his teammate now. Then they're going to go down towards the first corner, but it looks like Kumar might have it covered down towards the first corner.
He's going to lunge.
He's going to defend the inside. Keep it tidy, boys. Your teammates heading into the first corner. Stepnica. Oh, that was close indeed. But Kumar holds on to the lead for the time being as Ionescu gains as a result of those two fighting.
Well, this is definitely going to help him, and he's lapped the backmarker traffic he was facing, so Ionescu is free to push after these guys.
And then Jackson back into the pits now then to repair.
Will he be fueled to the end or not?
Not sure, but the Jaguars are still fighting as Kumar defended the inside, going through into the left-right chicane, and now coming towards the double right-hander now then. We will go through into the first part now, then we go as they now come out of the turn, making their way towards the S's. We will go as meanwhile Tobler trying to get the move done. Jackson rejoins in 11th after his pit stop now. Then his impromptu pit stop, it's fair to say, and we're not sure if he is actually going to the end of the race or not because the cameras decided to cut away a little bit last minute there. But anyway, the two Jaguars now then continuing to fight now then for
Ionescu's gained 8 tenths of a second in a single sector alone. My gosh, they're really holding each other up massively here.
And Stepnica did not get the best entrance going through into the stadium section. He's going to have to try and gain it back if he can before they exit out of the stadium. As meanwhile, looks like Razan's getting held up in traffic and allowing Ticelli to close up. Tobler trying to have a go at Morgan there, but it's not going to work out. But what is going on with the leaders? I don't know why we're looking at this fight. We should be looking at what's going on in the fight for the lead of the race. As
blame the automatic camera.
Well, certainly are, as Cesar Cohen Jr. getting lapped there by Mohamed Razan now then, as yeah, it looks like he is too far back, so clearly that stadium section definitely helping Kumar on that occasion, Rob.
Yeah, if you get caught up in the dirt air from another car in Del Sol, it's difficult to chase.
Indeed so, as we look at Ionescu, who's now 3.2 seconds behind Jacob Stepnica, who's now behind by a second on his teammates. Now Denholm is now attacking Kochi Cheong for 8th position.
Should be an easy move here.
They go side by side down towards the first corner now then. Is Denholm going to get 8th place from Kochi Cheong? The answer to that is yes. Didn't need to wait for the corner, and the Scotsman is up into 8th position.
Yeah, he got it done quite easily in the end.
Indeed so. Ionescu now 2.9 seconds behind the Jaguar of Stepnica now then.
He's lapped Dumel there, so that's all that he needed to do. Now he's free to chase those Jaguars.
Yeah, indeed. As he comes out of the S's now, then he will go. As 3.5 seconds the gap has gone up to now, so he obviously did get held up a little bit from that traffic, but he should be able to close it back up a little bit.
Here goes Ticelli lapping Cohen.
Yep, that was Cesar Cohen Jr. as he tries to get back at Razan for 4th position as they go through into the stadium section. Right on board with Robert Ionescu now then, as meanwhile looks like Carpenter having to do some defending here from Daniel Adventure. As that was close to contact there. Carpenter just holding on to the place for the time being, but Adventure giving him a hard time at the moment, it's fair to say. Under a second again between the two Jaguars. It's down to 0.7 seconds between both Kumar and Stepnica at the moment.
Looks like this race is about to get a whole lot more interesting.
Indeed so, as the two Jaguars make them through the first few turns. Ionescu starting to close again on Stepnica. Took 2 tenths out of him on that sector alone after he had to deal with that traffic. And now he's only got the two Jaguars in front of him.
You can see them.
Can't see them in visual, so it could turn into a freeway scrap if the two Jaguars continue to scrap.
Yeah, indeed. I wonder what the team bosses will be saying, because they're surely not happy about their cars endangering the result like this. But if you're a racing driver, now is the time to be selfish.
Yeah, indeed, especially when, in the case of Kumar and Stepnica, there's a chance to get your first ever win, of course. Through into the S's now then.
All the more reason.
There you go now then, as meanwhile Carpenter once again having to fend off from Daniel Adventure here. Heading into the first corner now then, is Adventure going to get the move done as he makes his way down towards turn one we will go. As he's trying to
This
fight
time
back.
I think he should have it easy.
Down the inside goes Daniel Adventure. This should be the move done for the German driver, unless Carpenter can hang it around the outside, which he's trying to do in fact, but Daniel Adventure says
That
no
was
to that.
brave, but he couldn't do much about it.
Up into 14th place goes Adventure, although Carpenter's trying to get him back on traction coming out of turn 3 as they go side by side towards the left-right chicane. Now
Adventure
then
has the inside here. He should be able to hold on.
He's going to do that, and yes, he does. Ionescu with a fast lap, although Adventure locked up going through into that corner there. And
Locked up again.
He's really struggling with those tyres, but he's got the move done regardless, and he's up into 14th place. Ionescu setting another fastest lap meanwhile as he continues to chase down the two Jaguars.
This is clearly something that he'll be thankful for with his strategy for the time being, but will that come to backfire on him in the race, or can he hold on to the podium, I wonder? Either way, he's giving chase and no team orders between the Jaguars. It's a clean fight.
Indeed so, as they now make their way through into the chicanes now then. Meanwhile, Razan is now putting a lap on, that would be Rafael Dumel now then, as he tries everything to put a car in between himself and Dominic Ticelli at the moment. As the gap is 0.8 seconds between the two Jaguars as Ionescu continues to close in.
Yeah, I think sooner rather than later, Stepnicka is going to have to worry about an attack from behind.
Indeed, as just have to let me dog out again. But anyway, coming out of the corner now, then we go. 5 tenths now, the gap between the two Jaguar drivers. 1.9 between Stepnicka and Ionescu, as you can see on the top of your screen. Through into the stadium section, we will go now. As they make their way into the hairpin, Ionescu can sense a back-to-back victory here at Mexico City. But of course, I think he is a little bit lighter than these two.
Yeah, he is lighter by 2 or 3 laps, so I don't think he'll have the advantage once we're done with the pit stops for everyone. So he's got to make the most out of his stint while he still can, because I think he will be dropping back in the second stint.
Another fastest lap for Robert Ionescu, 1:33.508 on that.
He's a second faster than the race leader.
Yes, indeed, as now coming down towards that first corner, Stepnicka still not close enough to get the move done on Kumar as we speak now. Then as they make their way through into the first few turns on the racetrack, as now we look at Ionescu through turn 2 and around turn 3. He will go now then as he makes his way down towards the back straight now, then making their way towards the left-right chicane now then. As they now make their way towards that section of corners, 200ths up on his personal best again in the first set of Ionescu. It's 1.5 seconds now, the gap between him and Jacob Stepnicka.
I think he's really enjoying this race here.
Is indeed, as they now make their way towards. Look how close the two Jags are. Kumar having to defend, going through into the S's there.
This could get tasty.
He's feeling the pressure from his less experienced teammate now then. Through the S's we go, through the right and then into the left-hander. They will go now then. Can Jacob Stepnicka get the move done on Jaswant Kumar now then? As Kumar's up on his personal best, as you can see there then. And having to defend going into the stadium section, flicking the car in through the right-hander. And now look how close Ionescu has got. He's now practically with the two Jaguars as we speak now then. Through into the stadium section we go. Can Stepnicka get a run on Jaswant Kumar? He's going to get some good traction, but can he get enough momentum to get him down the pit straight? And I don't think he will. But look at Ionescu, meanwhile, who's now right with Stepnicka as a result. Has he got
Could he have a chance to get past him?
Let's see now then, he's actually pitting at the end of this lap. Is Robert Ionescu, so looking to try and see if he can't get them on track, to see if he can jump them in the pits. But Ionescu has got a run on Jacob Stepnicka. Stepnicka thought about defending, but was too late to defend. Ionescu's already got
He's got it done.
Has he got it done? Because Stepnicka's still there, but he's got hung around the outside, and Ionescu has split the two Jaguars just before he makes his pit stop.
I think this has been an incredible first stint. I'm not sure if he can sustain in the second stint, but what incredible pace he's having.
Another man who's also got good pace, Marvo Koenig, now on the inside of Ko Chun Cheong, and he's up into 6th place. He's having a fantastic race from 19th on the grid.
Very impressive, Joe. You have to say.
And of course the gap 3.1 seconds. Kumar was able to pull away a bit whilst Ionescu and Stepnicka were fighting through that chicane, but we know that Ionescu is pitting at the end of this lap. The question will be, when do the two Jaguars respond?
Yeah, indeed. They should have the edge on him in pace for the few laps that they're still out on track, so it'll be interesting to see. I think Stepnicka will get the jump on him again, but who knows?
Blue is also pitting at the end of this lap as he tries to get the move done on Cass Morgan in front. It looks like Morgan's got the edge into the first corners. Now we will see Ionescu peel into the pits very soon. Razin's not too far behind from these lot either, nor is Dominic DeCelli, but we will see... we will be seeing Ionescu peel into the pits. We ride on board with Neuville is all over the back of Kochi Cheong, but Ionescu is now into the pits for Audi now then as we speak. So Robert Ionescu is the first of the leaders to make a pit stop.
Yep, first scheduled stop of the day. Let's see if he can avoid any pit lane shenanigans unlike last time.
Yep, as he puts on a fresh set of tyres and fuel now then. As let's see where he is going to emerge now then after this pit stop. Obviously going to the end of the race as expected. 6.7 seconds to stop. No hold-ups from Audi there then as he
Thank God.
He now comes trundling down pit lane. Tobler, of course, is coming into the pits at the end of this lap for Neo, but luckily he didn't interfere with Ionescu there. But let's see where the Romanian driver is going to rejoin with fresher tyres now then. As meanwhile, Coach Cheong is now trying to get back at Koenig. He's not finished with the German driver as Ionescu rejoins in 7th position, just behind these two fighting for 5th. Down the inside, they will go now then, but it looks like Koenig's going to hold on, and he is. So Koenig holds on to 5th place for the time being.
Yeah, he definitely had a little scare there, but he's held on nicely. As Razin still has a lot of fuel in his wagon, he could be interesting. So keep an eye on him. He could be a contender later on in this race.
Indeed so, as they now make their way through into the S's now, then through the left, then into the right, and then into the left-hander now, then we will go. As meanwhile, Kochi Cheong has been overtaken by Bella Neuville. She's up into 9th, but it looks like Kochi Cheong trying to get back as best as he can. And look, just behind, that's Brandon Jackson, who's not too far behind them as well. So Jackson
now we can get to find out if he's fueled to the end. He's not.
He's not fueled to the end, so he's going to have to pit for a second time now then, as now... You look at the Jaguar of, this is Stepnico, who's 4 seconds back from Kumar. Neither of them planning to pit just yet at the moment. Anybody behind them planning to pit or not? Tobel has just finished his pit stop. Meanwhile, in the Neo, as they come down the pit straight, Stepnico not pitting this lap. Still got 6.4 laps left as Razin stays out a bit longer as well.
I wonder what Ionescu's pace is like. Should be interesting to see because the others are doing 34s. And his lap, obviously, we can't consider it given that he had the time spent in the pit, of course.
Coach Cheong, meanwhile, is coming to the pit, so that puts Ionescu back up into 6th position. So Coach Cheong now into the pit. Same for Ross Denholm. He's also into the pits for Venturi, not for Venturi, sorry, for Nissan. As now making their way now then through into the left-right chicane now then we will go as now coming towards the double right-hander will go. The Jaguar driver as they now make their way towards the S's. And now we look at Razan, who's currently 3rd. Got a 2.2 second cushion now to Dominic DeCelli. So that's pretty much that, really.
Yeah, DeCelli is trying his best to hold on there. I think it'll be interesting, especially given we don't know for sure when DeCelli will make his stop.
Wayne Carpenter, meanwhile, is coming to the pits for DS Cheetahs. Meanwhile, Kochi Cheong trying to get back at Bella Neuville, but Neuville holding on to the place for the time being. His teammate, Marvo Koenig, is coming into the pits at the end of this lap, as you can see with a death panel on the top of your screen. So Koenig will be coming into the pits this lap. But as mentioned, none of the top 5, I think, are coming into the pits on this occasion.
No, I don't think so.
Now... down the straight, there is Ionescu. He's just coming into the stadium section. Koenig's 3.4 in front, but he's not going to have to worry about him because he's coming into the pits. In fact, I meant to say the top 4, not the top 5, because Koenig is now coming into the pits for Andretti, and so he's now into the pits. You've just seen him there on the left-hand side. So Ionescu will get back up to 5th place for
what is his lap times like? 134.1. He's still competitive, you know.
And Stepnico is coming into the pits at the end of this lap. So one of the Jaguars is going to be blinking and pitting at the end of this lap.
It'll be very interesting to see where he emerges in relation to Ionescu. Of course, don't forget, they'll have the same fuel load, but Stepnico will have slightly fresher tires.
Indeed so, as they now make their way towards the hairpin now then. So now riding on board with, I think this is Ross Denholm we're riding on board with, isn't it? So,
yes, it is.
As he's coming up to the back of Cass Morgan, who's still yet to make a pit stop in this race. As now we look at Ionescu, who locks up going through into the chicane there. So clearly showing that he is pushing very hard indeed in that Audi.
Yeah, a little error there, but I don't think it'll deter him too much.
He just makes his way out of the corner now, then making their way down towards the chicane now, then. As now coming towards the left, right, and left-hander now, then we will go. But Stepnica is coming into the pits at the end of this lap. We will see him peel to the right, which he will do. So into the pits comes the Jaguar driver. Where is he going to emerge in comparison to Robert Ionescu?
I think it'll be quite close. I still expect Stemnicka to be marginally ahead, but I have been wrong before, so who knows really.
Don't forget, of course, though, they'll still be building up speed when they come out of the pit lane. So even if he gets ahead, Ionescu could still get him on speed alone.
Yes, indeed, it'll be very important. Keep an eye on that. And let's see what his stop is like for Stemnicka. 5.3, that's over a second better than the outing managed. But of course, he's had to put less fuel into the car. But nevertheless, where will he be?
Indeed, and where is the Jaguar driver going to emerge? He had no hold-ups on that occasion. He's coming towards the end of the pit lane now then. And where is Ionescu on the racetrack? Stepnica has come out on track. Ionescu's only just crossed the line as Stepnica got back in front. I think he's got enough of a gap to stay in front whilst he's still building the speed. So Jacob Stepnica has got back in front of Robert Ionescu, and he's on fresher tyres as well.
Yeah, it's a straight fight to the finish now, and I think Ionescu will be at a slight disadvantage.
Yeah, indeed, and I wonder when Jaswant Kumar is going to make a pit stop in the other Jaguars. Kochi Cheong is now into the pits for Andretti, as Razan still not pitting at the moment, but he is temporarily up in second place, with Decelli temporarily up in third place. 1.5 seconds.
And Decelli is closing, you know.
Just going to bring that up. Decelli is now 1.5 seconds back as Jackson just done an overtake there, or has he just been overtaken? I'm not sure, but anyway, it might have been actually a mistake he just made going through into the first corner.
Looks more like it was a mistake. He's not near anybody else.
Kumar still not pitting at the end of this lap, but will he pit on the next lap? Let's wait and see.
Should be.
He comes around the final few turns on the racetrack, coming into the pelotala now, then heading down the pit straight as across the line. Then we'll go Jaswant Kumar and the Jaguar. Is he pitting? And yes, he is. So Kumar will be pitting at the end of this lap.
Yep, indeed. Should be interesting to see where he emerges.
Meanwhile, we have a battle here for 12th place. This is between Adventure and Kochi Cheong, meanwhile. And Kochi not able to get the move done on Adventure on that occasion. And I think Adventure still needs to make another pit stop because, of course, he did sustain damage early on in the race. Decelli is pitting at the end of this lap.
So Razin will be going on the longest before he pits. This could be very interesting for Razin, but what about Decelli, I wonder?
We will see, of course, because we know he is pitting at the end of this lap, as you can see with the death panel on the top of your screen, as now they make their way through the left-right chicane. So through the left and then into the right-hander now. Then we will go as the Italian will make his way towards the double right-hander. 4.7 seconds the gap as Razan is pitting at the end of this lap. So both of them will be pitting at the same time as each other. Right. And if Decelli was a little bit, I was going to say if Decelli was a little bit closer, he could have seen if he had garage advantage. But then I realised that Yuri actually does the garage order for this series as well, and Mercedes have a higher garage advantage than what Nissan have. So yeah, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they will do after they make their pit stops.
Yeah, indeed, they should be behind these guys, but they will be pushing. They'll have a tire advantage.
Indeed so, but as
looks like Ionescu is still gaining, even though he's got worse tires.
1.1 seconds the gap between the pair of them, but I think Kumar is now into the pits, and yes, he is. The race leader is now into pit lane, along with both Razan and Decelli. Razan pulls into his box, Decelli goes a little bit further down to pull into this box, but Kumar should
thankfully Kumar wasn't held up.
5.5 second pit stop for the Indian driver. Let's see if he's still going to emerge in front of Stepnica. He should do, but let's see. As Kumar now then will switch off the pit limiter, which he does, and out on the racetrack he will go now then, and he still emerges in the lead. There is Stepnica and there is Ionescu. So Kumar still in the lead after that pit stop as Razan rejoins behind Ionescu, and Decelli still emerges in 5th position after their pit stops.
Yes, indeed, and I think now the fight will be on between everybody in this top 5, I think, till the end of this race.
Bella Neuville, meanwhile, is into the pits for Neo. She's just come in for her mandatory pit stop in this race now. Then, as we look at Ionescu, who is under a second now behind Jacob Stepnica. So battle resumed between these two.
I don't think Ionescu cares that he's on older tires. He's still giving it his best shot.
Indeed so. Razan 1.5 seconds behind him after he made his mandatory pit stop, so we're interested to see what sort of pace he's carrying. Same for Dominic Ticelli as well, because they're not too far back, although Ticelli's got to catch up a lot, because he did lose a little bit of time in that pit stop, so yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah,
that.
but it's only about 3 seconds down on these guys, I think.
Newerville rejoined in 10th after her pit stop, so we joined behind Ross
Kumar just
Stenholm.
lost 3/10, meanwhile onto Stemnitska in the middle sector.
Down to 2 seconds now between the two Jaguar drivers, but 0.8 between Ionescu and Stepnica. So even though Stepnica is gaining on Kumar, Ionescu is still gaining on him. And it looks like Razan's also gaining as well.
Yeah, this is a very entertaining race.
Yeah, indeed, as Kumar will start lap 28 of 43 in this race now. Then Ionescu not close enough to get a hold of Stepnica on this occasion, but if he can keep
I
closing
wonder
up,
what the gap to Razin is, though.
let's have a look across the line. Razan is still 1.8 behind, so in fact, he's actually losing time. In fact, he's not actually gaining as much as I thought.
Yeah, but Razin could be gaining if these guys continue to squabble here.
Perhaps indeed, as they make their way into the first few turns now. Then 0.8 seconds still the gap between the Jaguar and the Audi at the moment as they make their way through the first few turns on the racetrack. 1.8 meanwhile between Kumar and Stepnica. So Stepnica has taken another 2 temps out of his teammate.
Yeah, he's just lost them again. Gap is back up to 2 seconds. I don't know what. He must have had a bad first sector.
Yeah, must have had a bad run through into those chicanes there. Kumar just seemed to have a better run through into the first 3 corners there as they now go through the double right-hander. Stepnica knows he's got his mirrors full of Robert Ionescu right behind him. Meanwhile, Jacob Tobler all over the back of Cass Morgan as Daniel Adventure comes in for his second pit stop of the day after he had to pit for damage earlier on in the race. So, coming around the S as we go as now we look at these two again. 0.7 seconds was the gap last time by. What is it this time around? And it's, in fact, that's 1.9 between Kumar. 0.8 again between Stepnica and Ionescu.
They appear to be evenly matched.
Indeed, as coming out of the pit lane there is Adventure just in front of the battling Morgan and Tobler here, both in Group 3 cars. But it looks like Morgan's just got the edge on the straight there compared to Tobler. Although
But he's going to try to send it.
Thinks better of it, and Morgan holds on to 13th place for the moment now then. Again, Ionescu not able to get the traction on Jacob Stepnica as much as he would want to.
Here we have Jackson, who will have to pit again, of course. So his fight with Gogden Chunk here is not for actual position. He's slowing down.
In his case, he's trying to gain as many positions as he can before he has to make that second pit stop after he, of course, sustained damage from that insane pile-up that happened down the pit straight a little bit earlier on. But anyway, Jackson now
I
on
think
a run.
that insane pile-up is the best way to sum it up, honestly.
Indeed, and it looks like Jackson's going to get a run here on Ko Chun Cheong, and he's on the inside of the Malaysian driver. The ship
You should have him.
On the inside then goes Brandon Jackson in the Audi as they make their way into the first few turns on the racetrack. Jackson on the inside. The camera decides to cut away, but I think
looks like he'll be impeded here in the middle sector. He's got some traffic. And is that Cesar Cohen?
Jackson did not pull the move off, in fact. Ko Chun Cheong actually stayed ahead of him, so he was able to hang it round the outside. So he holds on to 7th place, surprisingly.
Yeah, and look at this. Kumar is going to be held up heading in towards Sector 3 unless he can get the move done right here.
This is Cass Morgan he's trying to lap, because of course the other, not Cass Morgan, Cesar Cohen Jr., because the other Mahindra...
Look how much time he's lost.
Yeah, indeed, and I wonder if Stepnika's going to get held up as well, as, well, it looks like Cass, he's not making life any easier. Here comes Ionescu, trying to go around the outside, and there goes Razan as well, he's also on the back of this lot as well. So Cesar Cohen Jr., get those two mixed up, clearly being a nightmare for the leaders.
Yeah, absolutely right, and he might have just shaken up this race.
Indeed, but it looks like nobody's going to make any gains down this pit straight at the moment as Cesar Cohen Jr. is still in front of this group at the moment, as although Stepnica surprisingly still defending the inside, even though Ionescu was not close enough to the back of him. That's a bit bizarre there from the rookie.
It is interesting, I'll agree, but I'm not sure what he was thinking, to be honest. But nevertheless, no harm, no foul.
Indeed so, as Stepnica again going a little bit defensive because Ionescu is all over the back of him now then, going into the left-right chicane, and Ionescu...
Tell you what, he hasn't been this close since the last time when he passed him.
Indeed, and he's really going to try and get some pressure onto him, perhaps down the pit straight as they now make their way towards the S's. Now then we will go, as now flicking it in for the left-hander. Again, going a bit defensive, going into the first part of those S's there. Through the left-hander we go, and now into the right and left we will go. Both of them need to be careful because they've both got Razan and also Decelli breathing down their neck as well. Heading down towards the this little run towards the baseball stadium. Now then we will go as Ionescu thought about flicking it to the inside but thought better of it, and that's compromised him because now Razan is all over the back of him. Razan trying to go for a move into
And
the
Razin is
hairpin.
compromised now on exit.
Yep, because now Decelli is all over the back of him now. Then I think Ionescu just needed to wait a little bit more patiently for the straight to get a hold of Stepnica, because it's now allowed the Jaguar to pull away. But can Decelli get the move done on Mohamed Razan meanwhile in the fight for fourth position? He's right in the slipstream now then of the Indonesian driver. He's now going down towards the inside. Can Decelli pull the move off and get up into fourth position and get one place away from those podium places? Decelli now on the inside. It looks like he's got the overlap on him into the first corner, so this should be the move done unless Razan can hold it around the outside. Through into the first corner we will go. Razan's going to try and hold it around the outside as they go into the next corner, but it looks like Decelli's going to hang it round into turn 2. And Decelli gets up into fourth place. But can Razan try and get him back up towards the chicane now? They're trying to look to the right hand side. He will go now.
He's got traction, but I don't think he'll have the grip.
And Decelli's going to cut him off, and Decelli is now up into fourth position as a result. It's Jackson back on the inside of Kochi Cheong. Can he get the move done as he's pitting at the end of this lap? And, well, same story. Kochi Cheong is not giving that place up. He doesn't care if Jackson's paying. But look at this. Look at this. Stepnica getting held up by traffic. Ionescu tried to take advantage, but once again, it didn't work out.
Now, once again, looks like Sirko Jr. is being a nightmare for everyone to handle.
Indeed, obviously he is a rookie, but I don't think he quite understands how blue flags work in this sort of racing. But it looks like meanwhile Razan's not giving up on Decelli, so it looks like their fight for fourth is still going to continue. Decelli defending the inside from Razan and holds on to fourth for the time being. Ionescu still having trouble trying to lap
He's got him now.
I think he probably would be sticking his middle finger up to him if he just went past him there.
I don't think so.
But anyways, now Decelli and Razan are now going to have to deal with Cesar Cohen Jr. and Razan trying to get back at Decelli, but I think he's not got enough traction to stay in front.
Not close enough.
Plus, Decelli's going to have Cesar Cohen Jr.'s slipstream to stay in front as well to add to that.
Yeah, indeed, and looks like Cohen is not fighting this one too hard. I think he knows the point, and he lets Decelli by, but is he going to try to find him back here? No, I don't think so, especially given that he'll come into the pits this lap.
Yep, so at least the leaders will now be clear of Cesar Cohen
Kumar
Jr.
has pulled away quite a lot, though, because of this.
Because of that traffic, and meanwhile Jackson now into the pits for Audi, so he's finally making his second pit stop as we speak.
Here goes Razin, putting a lap on Cohen.
Yep, and now he'll try and get back after Dominic Decelli if he can, as he just comes out of the chicane there. As now we look at Jacob Stepnica, 4.6 seconds now back from Jaswant Kumar, who at the moment, if it were to stay like this, would take the lead in the Drivers' Championship. So now coming around into the S's now, then we will go. So 1.3 seconds, meanwhile, the gap between Ionescu and Stepnica at the moment. I had to think there for a moment which Jaguar it was. He actually took a 10th out of him in that middle sector. Looks like Coach Chion there having a bit of a moment going through into that chicane there, but he's got a comfortable gap between himself and Ross Denholm, but I would not be surprised if Denholm is starting to close in on him.
I think Denholm should have a pace advantage, though we'll see.
Should in theory, of course, but we'll wait and see. Is now coming around.
Yeah, well said.
Now coming around the S's now then, so now
Jackson emerged in 11th, so that's interesting.
He's just one place outside of the points as a result. 1 second, the gap between Stepnica and Ionescu is Decelli now sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:33.490. So now he holds on to the 2 bonus points for the fastest lap of the race, and he's also gaining a bit onto both Ionescu and Stepnica.
Don't forget, Decelli and Razin have fresher tires than both these guys, so if they can keep pushing, something interesting might happen.
Yep, as now we come out of the first few turns, and it looks like Razin's a bit closer to Ionescu than what Ionescu is to Stepnica in front. The gap 7 tenths between the pair of them, so I wonder if these two are going to fight down the pit straight next time around.
Well, it could be happening.
To the double right-hander now, then we will go as he flicked the car in through that double right-hander now then. as now they make their way towards the S's. Now then we will go flicking it in for the left, then into the right, then through into the left-hander. Now then we will go as we look at Kumar now then. Let's see the gap between him and Stepnica, 4.8 seconds. So practically both lapping around the same sort of pace as each other at the moment, although Kumar is actually coming up to some more traffic in front of him. So I'm not quite sure who it is, can't really tell from a distance really, but anyway, meanwhile we've got to get back to that battle for third that's going on between Ionescu and Dominic Dicelli. Meanwhile, as it looks like Dicelli now 4 tenths behind Robert Ionescu's Audi, as Kumar about to start another lap now then in the Jaguar. As now we look, and Dicelli is right there with Ionescu, so is he going to get a run on the Audi driver now then? And this
I think definitely.
Going to get into the slipstream of the Audi driver now, then going down into the first corner. Dominic Dicelli trying to get revenge after what was a disappointing Sao Paulo ePrix. He's going to go to the inside. Ionescu doesn't think about defending it. The Italian on the inside. Has he got the final podium place of Robert Ionescu? Down the inside he goes. He's got the overlap, and that's P3 for Dominic Dicelli.
I think Ionescu knew he wasn't gonna stand a chance, not with that tire disadvantage, and maybe he's using him to try to get Stepnica and get back on the podium that way.
Perhaps indeed, as we'll keep an eye on the fight between Stepnica and Dicelli. 1.5 seconds, the gap between them after sector 1 there, but I would not be surprised if Dicelli starts to close in on him, as now it looks like Ionescu might need to worry about Mohamed Razan very, very soon.
Yeah, he's right here, look.
Yep, as now they come around the double right-hander, he's right onto the back of the Audi driver now then, as they will now approach the S's now then, we will go. As we ride on board with Jacob Stepnica. Kumar now over 5 seconds ahead of his teammate, so Kumar is just pulling away now as we speak. Let's see what the gap is like between him and Dicelli in the middle sector, 1.4 seconds, so Dicelli only taking really a tenth out of Stepnica on that occasion, really. It says 1.3.
Yeah, but he is gaining. Here goes Razin trying to go for a move around the outside, now switching to the inside and losing a lot of time in the process.
Again, a bit of impatience there for the Indonesian driver, perhaps, as they now make their way through the stadium section. And now, out of the baseball stadium we go into the Mansell corner now then, as they will now come around. Up through the Pedal they will now go now then, as Ionescu's got a comfortable gap now in front of Mohamed Razan as a result. But the 1-2 for Jaguar definitely under threat today, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure they can keep in those positions till the end of the race, because Dicelli is looking very quick right now.
Stepnica, interestingly enough, did take 2 attempts out of Kumar on that time rally, but still
I think Kumar is safe in the lead there, honestly.
Yep, we'll see, of course, as now Ionescu with a comfortable gap in front of Razan and has lost a bit of time now to Dominic Dicelli as a result, who's too busy fighting with Stepnica for second place. And so that'll be interesting to see how that battle develops. There's a back up to 5 seconds now between Kumar and Stepnica, as he's actually coming up to, I think that's Rafael Demel is actually coming up to that bit of traffic that we were wondering just a little bit earlier on. So yeah, that's that, as Kumar just approaches the end of the second sector, as he continues to have a comfortable lead out in front now then, as the gap is back down to 4.9 seconds. But I wonder, is Stepnica under pressure from Dominic Dicelli, I wonder, as a bit of a
think he definitely might be.
They had a bit of a lock-up through into there, although saying that, Dicelli's still not close enough to Stepnica, so not as close as I was anticipating, but he has got the gap to under a second now between himself and Stepnica.
Surely the attack is coming, it's only a matter of when, not if.
Yep, not beyond this occasion though, because he's still a bit too far back to challenge him at the moment, as Kumar started lap 36 of 43, so including this lap, we have 8 laps to go here at the Mexico City ePrix.
Yes.
Now heading into the first few turns we go. It's Kumar just slowly gaining onto that traffic, not rushing into things right now, just trying to keep himself cool and composed, because so far he's looking good to get his first ever victory in the GP4 fraternity. Meanwhile, Jackson now trying to get points off of Coach Chi Cheong now, then into the fight.
Now around the outside here.
He's trying to get that final points place off of Coach Chi Cheong now, then as they make their way through into the hairpin now, then through the left and then into the right-hander now, then we will go as they now come towards Mansell corner and then into the Pelotala. Surely Jackson's going to get a run here on Coach Chi Cheong.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything he can do to keep him behind.
He's going to look to the inside. Has the Audi driver got the move done? He's already pulling alongside the Andretti, although surprisingly enough, he's still not able to get alongside the Andretti at the moment. Looks like Kochi might actually stay in front unless Jackson can get late on the brakes into the first corner as they now
He's
make
going
their
to
way through.
try it, I think.
Going to try, but no. Kochi's just going to hold on for the time being, so Jackson not able to get by him. That time by. It looks like Decelli might have had a moment going through into the stadium section there, just as he was 0.3 seconds behind Stepnica. I wonder if he tried to attack him going through into there and has
That
lost
must be
momentum
it.
as a result. Jackson, meanwhile, again trying to look on the inside of Kochi Cheong, but Cheong's got the inside covered and holds on to 10th place for the moment.
Yes, indeed.
Through out of the chicane now, then we go. 5.4 seconds now, the gap between Kumar and Stepnica.
That's correct.
5.6
2 over
now.
a second.
Yep, as now, I think Cicelli did try to go for a move on Jacob Stepnica into the stadium section. So now Jacob has got a bit of breathing space now as he tries everything to try and hold on to make this a Jaguar 1-2.
Yeah, but I wonder how much longer he can hold on.
Coming out of the S's now, then we go. Here is Daniel Adventure, who's quite a bit behind Jackson at the moment, and obviously another driver who sustained damage earlier on in the race. As I wonder if Jackson and Kochi Cheong keep fighting, I wonder if Adventure will have enough pace to try and catch the pair of them up.
Well, he's just under 10 seconds away, so I don't think so.
Into the hairpin now, then we will go through the left and right hander now. Then as we now look at Jaswant Kumar, who is coming up now to lap Rafael Demel now. Then as they come around the section of corners, as riding on board with Demel now. Then in the Virgin,
He's made way with no pain.
Yep, indeed, as now we look at Stepnica now then, who has now got Decelli once again on the back. Ionescu's not too far behind, it's fair to say. He's caught up back to the pair of them at this stage. As to this battle for second, Decelli this time, I think a little bit more patient.
I think Ionescu is waiting for Decelli to make his move.
We'll see as they now come out of Mansell now then. Is Decelli close enough to get a move done on Stepnica? I don't think he is, surprisingly. I think Decelli...
He might be if he gains enough on the straight here, but I don't think so.
I think Stepnica's going to stay in front, down to 4/10 though. Decelli does have some slipstream, but I think he's just a tad bit too far back, maybe to go for a lunge even. Let's see. And I think he's too far back, so it looks like Stepnica will hold on to second place for the time being. But the more these two battle, the more it will allow Ionescu to close up, and maybe even Razan as well.
Yes, indeed. It'll be interesting as looks like Jackson has finally got himself into 10th place. Next target for him is quite far away.
Jackson now into the points as a result. As meanwhile, look at this. Decelli trying to attack Stepnica into the chicane. Stepnica goes a bit wide as a result, but he holds on to second place. And now Ionescu is in this fight as Decelli tries to have a go into that corner. Same with Ionescu, but both of them back out as a result. And now it's a four-way scrap for second.
This is the best way ending I could have imagined for this race, honestly. Stepnica is under a lot of pressure from everybody around here, and I don't think anyone wants to give a quarter.
Indeed, through into the S's now, then we will go. Will Decelli try and get a run into the stadium section like we briefly saw earlier on, as he's going to the outside line now then, as Stepnica defends the inside, going into the turn now then. Ionescu also having to do a bit of defending from Razan behind him now then, as now there's a bit of a gap forming, and Razan and Ionescu are fighting for fourth place. But back to this battle for second, and Decelli is a lot closer than what he was previously.
Yeah, surely this time he can have him.
Let's see now, they're coming out of the Pelotala. 5 laps to go for the race leader, Jaswant Kumar. But Decelli has got a good run on Jacob Stepnica now. Then heading down the pit straight. The Italian in the slipstream. He's going to go to the inside line. Can he split the two Jaguar drivers heading towards the first corner now? Then they go. Razan,
yes, he can.
I think Razan's a bit too far back on Ionescu, but he's got the overlap on the rookie now. Then heading into the first corner. Danny inside. Goes Dominic Decelli. And that's P2 for the Italian.
He'll be delighted with that. Next target for him, Kumar, is quite a way away, so I think he'll have to sell for second. But given what he had last week, he'll be delighted with this change of fortune.
Indeed so. Stepnica's still all over the back of him, trying to see if he can get him back into the chicane, but thinks better of it, and Decelli will hold on to second place as a result, as they now come towards the double right-hander now. Then Ionescu trying to close back in on that fight for the podium if he can, after Stepnica just got overtaken there by Decelli.
He can still get third, you know.
He's also dragging Razin with him. Let's not forget about that. As now coming around the S as we go. Stepnika still not giving up on that second place. He's still all over the back of Decelli at the moment as they now make their way down towards that stadium section now then as will Stepnika try and go for the outside. He's going to think about a lunge on the outside, thinks about a lunge on the inside, but thinks better of it, and it's wrecked his traction as a result, and now both Ionescu and Razan are all over the back of him.
That second place done, but let's see if Stemniska can hold on to third.
Let's see now then, as Ionescu's now all over the back of him now, then coming out of Mansell, 4 laps to go for the race leader, through into the peloton.
He's already overtaken him once, let's not forget.
He has indeed, but can he get him a second time by Ionescu on the inside of the Jaguar driver now then as they go down towards that first corner. He's side by side with the Jaguar. It looks like he might get the overlap here, and I think he will do. He does indeed. So surely this is the move done for Ionescu unless Stepnika can somehow hang it around the outside down into the first corner.
Don't think so. He's got him.
Ionescu onto the podium places, and now Stepnika is now going to have to fend off for Mohamed Razan's Mercedes.
I think that'll be a little bit easier said than done because Razin is looking very fast at the moment, but you won't be able to get the move done here.
Yeah, indeed, Ionescu is still having to defend a little bit through into the chicane because Stepnika is still with him there, but it looks like for the moment he's going to hold on to third, and you can see how many places that Koenig has gained on the left-hand side. 13 places, started down in 19th, all the way up into 6th. What an amazing comeback from the German.
Yeah, absolutely right, Joe. Absolutely right. As Stepniska is still trying to pile on the pressure onto Ionescu, but is he just ruining his tires like this as Kumar is pulling away even further in the lead?
He is coming up to some traffic. He's having to negotiate a bit of traffic for the moment. But meanwhile, back to the battle for third now. Then Ionescu once again having to fend off from Jacob Stepnika, who's going to go to the outside line. And he has to hold on for the moment. Razan tried to take full advantage. Can't get it done. And as a result, he's lost traction as a result of that. And Stepnika has got a bit of breathing space.
Yeah, indeed. I think he can try to focus on a counterattack on Ionescu, but I'm not sure if he has the pace for it. 3 laps to go.
The peloton we go now then. I don't think he's close enough on this occasion, although I think he will still get some slipstream off of the Audi as they come down the pit straight now then. And now heading towards that first corner, we will go 5 tenths to gap. Ionescu's just got a bit of a gap to stay in front of Stepnika. 1.1 seconds between Stepnika and Razin for the time being. So Razin is pretty much running out of time if he wants P4 in this race.
Yeah, he needs to gain fast if he wants to get past Stepniska. And I think Ionescu, if he can defend for just one more lap, I think he'll be able to pull away.
Yep, indeed, as the gap is 9 seconds between Kumar and Decelli. So yeah, unless anything happens to Kumar, this should be the victory for him at the moment. In fact, he's still having trouble trying to lap the other Mahindra, this being Cass Morgan he's trying to lap, as he'd already just lapped Owen Carpenter. In fact, Carpenter...
You have Owen Carpenter who's racing Morgan.
He goes around the outside and takes full advantage, and that's P14 for the Irishman. And now Demel is well with them, but I don't think Demel's going to be too much of an effect because, of course, let's not forget, he's got a 10-second time penalty.
Yes, he does. Sorry, my sure cut for a few seconds there. As back onto the battle for third we go.
Stepnika is still not giving up on Ionescu here now then as he looks at the outside line then on the Romanian driver, but it's not going to work out. Ionescu's just going to stay in front for the time being as now they go in towards the stadium section now then through into the left-hander we go as he clips the apex. Ionescu doesn't, so could Stepnika try and get him back into the first corner? Let's see.
It'll be very interesting. Let's see if we can get the overtake done. 2 laps to go.
Come down the pit straight now then. Can Stepnika reclaim third place over Robert Ionescu? He's going to go to the inside. Can the Jaguar driver get the move done? Razan will be watching on behind to see if anything happens between these two now then. As they go side by side through turn 1, Stepnika's still not quite got the overlap on Ionescu. Looks like Ionescu's still got a bit of overlap going into the first corner. And Stepnika trying his best. They're side by side, but he pulls the move off and Stepnika back up to third.
Yeah, looks like that was quite a difficult one, but he's got the overtake finally.
Now Razan's going to try and have a go in Ionescu here down into the chicane. Can Razan get the move done? He's going to go to the inside, but I think Ionescu is going to cover that move off, and he holds on to that.
Yes.
Even Stepnika had to do a bit of defending into the chicane just in case Ionescu tried to get back at him through into that corner, but I don't think that battle for third place is done without a long shot.
No, there's still be an opportunity left on the final lap. So if Ionescu keeps it neat and tidy, he'll have a chance on the front straight.
As they were both moving about a bit there through into the S's, and I think Stepnica has pulled a bit of a gap and is meant as a result Ionescu now into the clutches of Mohamed Razan as they go out of the S's. Now then, we will go. Can Razan pull the move off then on Robert Ionescu? Now then into the stadium section, he's going to pull to the outside line, but I think Ionescu's just going to hold on, although Razan's trying to go for the inside, but that's the back out of it.
He's just lost fourth.
Yeah, indeed, as Ionescu tries to close back in on Stepnica if he can, but I think he's going to need a little bit more if he wants to get third place. Meanwhile, Jaswant Kumar has started the final lap of the race here at Mexico City, and Ionescu is too far back to challenge.
Yeah, he's not close enough, I'm afraid.
He's going to need some kind of miracle on the last lap if he wants to get that podium place off of Jacob Stepnica. But at the moment, the rookie is looking like he's going to get his first ever podium in what is only his second GP4 race. But on the topic of Jaguars, we need to speak about his teammate, Jaswant Kumar. What a brilliant race it has been for him. He started on pole position, held on to the lead, and despite a few threats from his teammate before the pit stops, he's basically controlled this race. And as long as nothing happens to him, he is looking good to get his first ever GP4 OC victory.
And he'll be the second Indian driver to win a race out of two. So India will have two race winners in at least one category. So Jaswant Kumar is going to make his country proud with this victory.
Yes, indeed, as he comes around the S's now then for the 43rd and final time in this race now then, coming up towards the right, left chicane now, there we go, through the right, then into the left, and now heading their way down towards the stadium section now then. We will go as the gap, Dicelli was closing on to him, but I think that was mainly because of the traffic, and in fact he's brought the gap back up because I think Dicelli is now coming up to that bit of traffic as well. But Kumar now then, coming into the stadium section for the final time. He's drove an absolutely sensational race here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. He's going to take the lead in the Drivers' Championship. Around the final corner we go, and Jaswant Kumar is going to win the Mexico City ePrix here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. Well done, Jaswant Kumar.
He drove quite well there, didn't he? Carpenter only 14th, I'm afraid, for him. Gas Morgan 15th. Dicelli takes second.
Nika gets his first ever podium in only his second ever race, P3 for him. Ionescu just misses out in 4th. Razan 5th. Koenig, a brilliant comeback for him. He finishes in 6th from 19th on the grid. What a drive it has been for him, finally getting his name on the board after retiring at the Sao Paulo ePrix earlier on. And Ko Chung Cheong, he's going to get points as well after coming off the back of a tricky season in 2021. A brilliant 7th place finish for Ko Chung Cheong. What a drive for him in the Venturi. A brilliant start to the season for them since they became a Group 2 team. Ko Chung Cheong 7th. Cesar Cohen Jr., race to forget for him. Ross Denholm in 8th. He loses the championship lead as a result. Bella Neuville gets her first points of the season. What a brilliant drive for her. This has been a brilliant weekend for Neo indeed. Jackson is going to pick up the final points place in the Audi. What might have been had he not sustained that damage from earlier on. But Jackson is going to pick up 10th place and the final points place as a result. As Kochi Cheong, a race to forget for him. He's going to cross the line 11th, just ahead of Daniel Adventure. A race to forget for him as well. 11th and 12th for those two respectively. Tobler will cross the line 13th. A decent race for him, but I guess his race will kind of be overshadowed by the fact that his teammate has scored points today, finishing in 9th position. Tobler around the final couple of corners. The final couple of corners he will go now then as he makes his way onto the pit straight, and Tobler will cross the line in 13th position. A decent race for him though nonetheless, and that's the race done with Jaswant Kumar becoming a race winner in the GP4 OC fraternity. A great race for him indeed, and he now takes the lead in the Drivers' Championship as a result of that then. So here are the final race results. Jaswant Kumar takes his first ever win with Dominic Dicelli in 2nd. Jacob Stepnica takes his first ever podium in 3rd with Robert Ionescu 4th. Mohamed Razan 5th. Marvo Koenig, a brilliant comeback in 6th with Ko Chung Cheong in 10th. Ross Denholm 8th. Bella Neuville 9th with Brandon Jackson completing the points in 10th. Kochi Cheong in 11th, and you can do the rest, Rob.
Sure, then an adventure, unfortunately P12 for him, Jakub Tobola 13th. Then a lap down we have Owen Carpenter, Cass Morgan, Rafael Dumal, and Cesar Cohen Jr. And the DNFs are Juan Min Nguyen, Leighton Aveyard, Kwan Min Nguyen, Bartosz Brak, and Sana Choi.
Yep, indeed, and the fastest lap of the race goes to Dominic Dicelli. So along with the 18 points that he will get for 2nd place, he'll also get the 2 bonus points for the fastest lap of the race. 18 thousandths quicker than Robert Ionescu. I mean, those guys were definitely quick today when it came to fastest laps.
Yeah, absolutely right. The fastest lap kept getting updated so many times today.
Indeed so. Well, that has been it then from the Mexico City ePrix. I hope you have enjoyed it. A thoroughly entertaining race here, and definitely safe to say that the quality of the racing for Formula E has definitely improved from last season, it's fair to say, and we probably could be in for another good season here for Formula E, that is for sure. But that has been it
Yeah,
then. I hope you have
totally.
enjoyed it. Of course, we're not done with live streams because coming up at 7 p.m. GMT, we of course have the first Formula 2 qualifying session of the season over at Istanbul Park. So do look forward to that. Robert will be providing his voice there as well. So do look forward to that. I'm not sure if he's got a co-commentator lined up for that because I did see that Flo
For
was
the
looking
moment,
around.
no.
I think Flo was looking around for a co-commentator, so I'll see if I'm available or not, if nobody else wants to pick up that job. But anyway, that has been it. Of course, we have top class action as well, along with F2 action as well this week. The top class being at the Korea International Circuit for the Korean Grand Prix. Of course, DTM is back on this weekend as well for the first race of the season over at the current layout of Hockenheim. The next Formula E race will be in 2 weeks' time at the Miami ePrix at Dodge Island, so do look forward to that. The only American race this time by, and of course, World Champ Car will be on next week over at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. So hopefully in for another good race there as well after a good opening race for World Champ Car over at Indianapolis. But until then, that has been it. I hope you've enjoyed it. So thank you all for watching. I've been JW97. He's been Rob, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.